Live from our studio in downtown Brooklyn, it's the 8th. Live from our studio in downtown Brooklyn, it's the 8th annual Blank Check Awards. I'm Marie Barty, and I'll be doing some red carpet coverage for tonight's event. Oh, I see David Sims with a box of pizza from Little Caesars.
Pizza.
Joe Reid from This Had Oscar Buzz is here as well with a tote bag that is emblazoned with Kate Hudson's face. Ben Hosley is here, flanked by Piacon the Whale and also the whale from The Whale.
People are amazing.
And, Griffin Newman coming in just now, right under the wire with a bagel. Hey, Griff.
Bagel.
Joining us from our memorabilia shelf, we have the baby from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
My doggy! Wow!
A Lego man made out of bones with chains. An envelope. Oh, the envelope from J.D. Amato.
Beta cuck movement. Okay.
Someone made a... the fuck is this? Like an embroidered thing of a tweet of Griffin saying at David L. Sims Watto, though, complete with the amount of retweets and likes.
There you go.
As you can see, all the stars are out tonight. Oh, the lights are dimming. That's our cue. The show's about to start. Ladies, gentlemen, and gentlefolk, it's Griffin Newman.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the, what is it, the 8th annual Blankies?
Jesus.
We have to start with the somber tone. This is serious, okay?
I believe this is the 8th annual Blankies.
I know we often start with a sense of...
No, it's the 8th annual Blankies.
It is.
Okay, it's the 8th.
I said 8th.
I know.
No, we often start with a sense of frivolity. Jokes and laughs.
Right.
Music and mirth.
Mm-hmm.
Some clever little song parodies incorporating the titles of this year's finest films.
Certainly.
But we need to set a clear tone at the beginning of this night.
Okay.
Of course, we all know the scandal that happened last year during the Blankies.
What happened?
Checky bounced on stage.
And
Chris Rock was presenting an award.
was he?
He was. Chris Rock was presenting an award.
You don't remember usually this? Our presenters are past winners, and no offense to Mr. Rock, who I like, but he hasn't come near an acting award for me of late.
Not acting.
Okay.
What about
what? Best deadline press release for Spiral. That would be the closest
okay,
award.
I'll take that. He was, of course, presenting the award for best new press release.
Right.
Right. We always do that. Remember how we always do that category of funniest deadline story?
Yeah, we've been doing it. I mean, this will be the 8th year.
Right.
Yeah.
So past
winner, we often edit it out just because, we have to abridge the show.
Of course.
Yeah. There you go.
We for years have been...
There's a lot of awards you guys don't
They're
see.
not televised.
ABC
they're not broadcast.
is cracking the web.
Yes,
we can't,
absolutely. This is an 8-hour show. Anyway, Checky bounced on stage and he bounced on Chris Rock. So I don't know what to tell you, but we have Blankie Police now.
Yeah.
We have the Blankie Patrol. I don't know. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 8th annual Blankies.
Keep going.
I was going to make a joke like that.
Yeah, what do they do?
Look, can I just say something?
Say something.
Because you obviously haven't gotten a Blankies song, which is fine.
I haven't.
People are making fun of the Oscar Corps or whatever these guys are, the Oscar Brigade.
Yeah.
The guys who are here to deal with any crisis.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are they going to do? Tackle Will Smith? The problem was the half hour.
Yes.
That's what they're for.
That's the problem.
If shit happens, then they come on stage or they do something. I assume.
We've already done this rant in a different episode.
Right. We did
that
this
is coming out later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very
to jump around in time.
It came out today.
Is it in the March Madness?
It did.
Oh, great. I just think it's been too long since the Blankie Awards had a host. I think this is a problem.
Yeah.
What if we got a host?
What if we paid out?
Wow.
Who's the...
Go to a booking site.
Oh, we just got like a professional
That's what
MC
I'm
who does
saying.
like bar mitzvahs.
Right. I'm like, who is within our price range?
Yeah, that's my
Right.
question.
Who's fallen into our range?
I want a name.
Sure, of course.
But I'm like, who does corporate gigs?
right. Maybe
know?
he had like hosted like a down market award show at some point in the past.
Yeah, David, can you pull up a list of like a Blockbuster Entertainment Award hosts
Right.
or like Cable Ace
But, like
hosts?
Dennis Miller hosted those VMAs for a while there.
I don't want
Yeah.
Dennis
I don't
Miller
wanna touch
anywhere
old
near
Danny.
here.
wanted Dennis Miller. Nobody
Drew
wants
Carey.
a
Could we get
Dennis
Drew
Miller,
Carey? How much does Drew
yeah,
Carey
It's true.
cost?
Yeah.
Wait, what about Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Wow. That's a swing.
I think he'd do
Okay,
it. He
so
seems to. He'll show
Drew
up at the opening for
Carey-
an envelope. Yep.
Makes $20 million a year.
But that's Price is Right.
Cut that in 365,
That's right, yeah.
like let's just, we just want you for one day,
For one-
Drew.
and not even 24 hours in a
No.
day. So like cut that even further down.
Yeah, but so that's still $55,000. It's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
All right,
so a little
Blankies,
less.
this is where we're calling out for your help. All
Yeah.
right, this is what we need.
Do we want Drew that
$55,000.
bad?
Ryan Stiles.
I mean,
Let's
now,
go through the
it's
cast
starting
of
to
Drew
feel
Carey.
mean where we're basically like kind of shooting at the middle of the board, and then we're like, all right, lower.
The problem with Ryan Stiles
Yeah.
is you can't have Stiles without mockery, so you got to get the both of them, and then you're paying two people.
No,
so
what
now
I'm
it's-
saying is,
Oh,
let's
now
make,
we get Styles without mock.
let's make a mockery of that.
Are you just sort of
presumption.
thinking of Drew Carey show characters at this
Yes.
point?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
David,
yeah.
transparently.
What about the lady? What was her name?
Mimi.
Krista Miller.
Mimi,
Oh,
yeah.
Mimi?
Yeah.
We could get
Oh,
Mimi.
we could get
Mimi-
Krista Miller feels like she's busy, but maybe Mimi's around.
Yeah, well, Krista Miller's swimming in that Ted Lasso.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
doing the backstroke through those
Yeah.
soccer millions. Yeah,
Wait, what's the actress's name?
Kathy
Kinney. There
Kathy
you go.
Kinney.
Kathy Kinney.
Okay.
yeah. Let's get Kathy Kinney. Kathy Kinney, 9th annual Blankies. Let's
Yeah.
She's 68 years old. She's a spring chicken. She
Yeah.
could do
Yeah,
it.
let's get her. Anyway, hi. Welcome to 8th Annual Blankies. My name is Griffin Newman.
My name is David Sims.
Oh, my name is Joe Reid, reading Rain Joe. I was waiting for the
Absolutely.
reading Rain Joe
Well,
intro,
'cause
Griffin.
We are, let's anoint it now.
Yeah.
We do have to become the de facto Wanda Sykes, Amy Schumer.
That's true. That's true.
Yes. And Regina Hall of the
Dibs on
ceremony.
Regina Hall. Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Dibs on Regina Hall.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I guess I'm Wanda.
You're Amy.
Am I?
You're too horny. You're Amy. I'm
and
Wanda.
I'm a parent. Amy's like,
Yeah.
very, very parent mode
It's
now.
true.
Wanda's grumpy.
Sure.
Yeah. This is usually a podcast called Blank Check with Griffin and David. In fact, it is still that podcast.
Yeah, we didn't change the name for
Yeah.
the episode.
No. But this podcast is usually about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion products they want. And then once a year, we hand the checkbook to ourselves.
That's right.
And rather than writing a check with an amount of money on it, we write our picks for the best in film of the previous year.
I just found out who was the host of the first Blockbuster Entertainment Awards.
Oh, boy.
Throw it
Let's
at me.
It was a double act. And it wasn't,
What year?
Martin and Lewis.
What
it
year?
was 1994.
Double act to 94.
SNL people?
No.
Kid and Play.
That would be
Oh,
good.
yeah.
That's a good guess.
No. Cindy Crawford
Mhm.
and William Baldwin. That's right.
Oh.
Billy was hosting before Alec ever got a shot.
Wait, what was that movie that they were clearly promoting? Fair Game? Is that what it was called? William Baldwin, Cindy Crawford, action.
Yes,
Adventure?
you are
Oh,
correct.
wow.
Wow.
You are correct. Fair game.
Yeah.
Apparently, the music and video industry turned out in full force for the event, according to
Okay.
Wikipedia.org.
Okay. The music video industry, not the film
It's
industry.
at music and video.
Music
They
and
have
video.
music
Because it's
awards?
Blockbuster, so it's,
Yeah.
the video cassette industry. It's
The
set their best and
VHS
brightest.
industry
Yes,
was out.
Kind of in their final throes,
Tops
right?
and tails.
As the 90s were going along.
Second,
DVD was
the
coming.
second
Yeah.
ceremony hosted by Mr. Kelsey Grammer, the
Hey,
Jesus
okay.
Revolution
Huge.
himself.
Yeah.
The third looks like they dropped the host. Big mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
The fourth, also hostless. The fifth, there's a note here that Harry Connick Jr. described his nomination for Best Actor for the film Hope Floats as, quote, absolutely insane.
Okay.
end quote.
Well,
Um,
not going to argue with the man.
No.
by the sixth awards, they had added a video games section. Imagine if the Oscars did that.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then the seventh and final awards were held in April 2001. And I guess literally 9/11 wrapped it up.
Wow.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that
We
why
did
they
it.
ended it?
Yes, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Yes,
There was I did some fucking
I think you
sidebar
did a
on
bit on
Blockbuster
this.
Entertainment
Yeah.
Awards for some reason.
It's much like the Emmys, which also were sort of delayed by 9/11
Yes.
in some weird way.
Yeah.
And
Do
of
they-
course, the New York City mayoral primary. What
Do they still do the Nickelodeon awards?
they do,
Oh, yeah.
right? Oh yeah, they definitely
Yes.
still do
Choice.
those.
I'll say that I had the experience recently walking through Times Square, humble brag, and
Wait, you're humble bragging walking through Times
it's a
Square.
joke.
There's
my
a Krispy
friend.
Kreme right there, David.
don't
I
have
would,
a
I would,
host.
yes,
Even as a
that's
joke,
pretty braggy.
Did you get a
trying
picture
to-
with Dora?
No, listen.
A Power
walked,
Ranger?
I walked by this billboard for the 2023 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards,
Nice.
and I think, thank you, humble brag, and I think for the first time in my life, I had no idea who the two fucking hosts were.
Oh, you didn't even know the hosts, right?
No
right,
idea.
right,
that
right,
makes
right.
me sad.
It was like
Does
this.
it? Do you need?
Yeah.
Do you need
Can
to
I,
know?
Can I
time
throw
is
out,
moving.
Can I throw out
sure.
names of hosts in the last several years? Chance the Rapper,
Sure.
Sure.
John
Heard of him.
Cena,
Heard of
Yeah.
him.
Mark Wahlberg.
Heard of him.
Like it's
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
I don't
Mark
know that he
Wahlberg
should be.
hosted
Yeah.
Did
That's
you,
not
did
good.
in
you
the
see
last
that
10 years.
Mark Wahlberg said women are talking?
Women are talking at the SAG Awards.
instead of women talking.
Great.
Sort of makes
Um,
it sound like a warning.
Yes.
To Mark Wahlberg, it
So I
possibly
just
is,
found
yes.
out who the hosts are.
Tell me.
Okay, so one is Nate Burleson. Now, there's no way you would know Nate Burleson.
I
because
know
he's
Nate
from,
Burleson.
He's
He's
from
a
the world
football
of
guy.
sports.
Okay.
The other
What
is
sport?
Football.
Esports?
What team?
what team did he play for?
Yeah.
Played for the Vikings
That's
for a
right.
while.
The
they-
Vikings and the Seahawks.
I-
He's more famous as like a football talking head.
He's a good, he's
Okay.
a good, studio
Is
guy.
he a former player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hasn't been a player
His
for
whole
10
thing
years.
he did the color commentary when like Nickelodeon broadcast the NFL football
That
playoffs.
makes sense to me.
There you
Okay,
go.
I get
There you
it.
go.
Now he's in
Now,
house.
the
Got
other
it.
one is one of those people
Yeah.
where I don't know who they are, but I know her name because I know she's famous, with the youth. Charlie D'Amelio. She's like a
Oh.
TikToker.
She's a TikTok
She's the
star.
number
Yeah.
one TikToker.
Yeah, so I am aware
And
of
was also,
her,
I think, on like Dancing with the Stars this past year. So like she's enough of a crossover.
Okay.
but obviously there's no way I could pick her out of a
No.
lineup. Or
No,
God, I don't
no.
know
I
what she
think
looks like.
I might have been. I physically, I have no idea what she looks like.
Apparently, she won a 2022 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award.
That makes sense.
Here she is accepting her award.
But
She's
give me
going
like the
this.
last 10 hosts.
Oh, of course. Let's see. Last year was Miranda Cosgrove, iCarly herself.
Big deal.
Sure.
And Rob Gronkowski. Now, have you heard of him?
I have
He is a football
because he
player.
was on Shark Tank.
There you go.
There
The
we go.
Gronk bottle. Or
Year
some
before
shit.
that-
Ice Shaker was
Year
his
before
company.
that,
Yeah.
Keenan Thompson, a legend.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
blimp legend,
Yes.
truly.
Yeah.
How many blimps does that guy have?
A billion.
A lot of Keenan.
Room full of
accounts.
blimps.
He's
Uh,
inside each blimp driving.
Number before that,
Mm.
Victoria Justice, former co-star.
Former
Griffin
co-star of
Newman's.
mine. We share a birthday.
Before
Ah.
that, and apparently he went on a very sad rant about cunnilingus, DJ Khaled.
Oh,
I doubt he
dear.
did that.
This is what I'm saying. All these people.
John Cena, I'm going to keep going. Blake
Humongous.
Shelton,
Yes.
Nick Jonas, Mark Wahlberg,
Right.
Josh Duhamel.
Blake Shelton hosting the Kids' Choice Awards.
love
Feels like
kids.
I had imagined those kids there who like kids. You're gonna get like up close and personal. You're gonna meet the host today. It's gonna be great. And it's like it's Blake Shelton, and they just all
Well,
start crying or whatever. Like what happens?
Let's not look past Josh Duhamel. I think the Blake Shelton kids are so excited that they weren't there for the Josh Duhamel year.
Wow.
Yeah, Josh Duhamel, I'm sure he tore up the stage. That
Yeah.
guy, he's so fucking funny. Obviously, Rosie O'Donnell is the sort of like Billy Crystal.
Sure,
She's
of
hosted
course.
the most times.
Right. And Whitney Houston was sort of the Bob Hope. or
Whitney
the
Houston
Carson
did a
before her.
few.
Yeah.
Jack Black has hosted, it looks like 3 times.
Okay.
That fits.
So
Uh,
he's sort of the Ellen, the Steve Martin.
Steve Martin,
Yeah.
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Carson actually did a few.
I think Whitney
Oscars.
Houston was the Carson.
Oh, you said Whitney Houston. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I thought you were saying that Carson hosted a few of the early Kids' Choice Awards, which
I
would
wish.
have really blown my mind.
I wish.
Uh,
How about
yeah.
these Rugrats? I don't know. I
I'm
had
just-
nothing. I had nothing. I didn't even come up with a song. I sit down at the desk. We do the fucking level check. David says, "I can't wait to hear what you've got." And I realized in that moment for the first time that I was
The
supposed
cold
to come
stab
up
of
with
booked a whole
recognition.
band.
Yeah.
I know.
And I had to just let them leave.
And I want to be very clear. My apologies to the chain smokers. I'm sorry we don't have any use for you today.
That money could have gone towards the $55,000 we're going to pay Kathy Kinney to host the
I know,
next year's.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, here we go. The Blankies. I feel like the longer this show's gone on, the more you almost view this show, David, as like an annoyance that you have to relitigate your picks 3 months after locking your lists and
Do I?
publishing.
I mean, I have published a list. There's no doubt about that.
But the full categories, obviously,
Yeah, the spreadsheet.
you don't show.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
the
exactly.
spreadsheet. The spreadsheet.
It's not about just the one category either.
Of course.
We have the full spread
Of course.
Of options.
And let me sum it up, of course.
Mhm.
Blanky winners from our Reddit, from our
Oh, yes.
Discord.
Yes. You have them ready to go?
Yeah, I can get them.
Okay. Do we want to start with the supporting categories as is tradition?
I guess so. Joe,
Yeah.
is there anything you want to say about the state of cinema
I mean, I like it.
before we kick
I
it
like
off?
cinema. I would
Well,
like
we-
it
we
to
all like it.
continue.
We all want it to continue. I'd hate to see it go.
What if I came armed with like a half an hour rant about like theatrical distribution? Wouldn't that be like a... But like coming out against it, that'd be a bummer. That'd be bad.
Have you
wouldn't want
guys-
that.
If you just joined the show and we
If
were
I-
like, you twerps talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Oh,
theaters,
sure.
they're boring.
Yeah.
Get with the times. Watch a movie on Peacock. Yeah, no.
You
That
guys
is weirdly their slogan, and it's
It-
very
it is.
Give up.
aggressive.
It's, yeah.
watch a
Get
movie
with
on
the time.
Peacock.
What's the matter?
Yeah. I just like a streaming service saying, give up.
Yeah, right.
Watch us.
Essentially, we're your
Yeah.
last resort. What are you going to do? Leave your house? Yeah.
You guys haven't watched Tracy Zooms In yet, have you? The new Dick Tracy special? The new
Oh.
No, I
Next-Gen
have not.
copy,
Okay. No.
copyright extension
also-
special?
That
Not
does
only-
sound like a Tracy Ullman special. Though,
It does.
doesn't
Tracy takes on Dick Tracy.
zooms
Yeah.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
Not only did I not watch it yet, I didn't realize this was a thing.
Oh, it's incredible.
I didn't realize like the whole story around
Yeah,
it.
spoiler
which is, like,
alert.
kind of amazing.
It will sweep my ballot next year. I consider it a film. I've logged it on Letterboxd. But there is a moment where Warren Beatty in character as Dick Tracy, who Warren Beatty is 85. They play Dick Tracy as if he is 130 years old. That he is the age.
I mean, he is right. He is a
But they-
long-running character.
They talk to him. They're like, "So you're 130. How do you look so good?" Pomegranates. Lots of pomegranates.
Wow.
He goes on this long rant when like Warren Beatty is claiming that he wants to do something new with the rights to Dick Tracy. Dick Tracy, the character in this special,
Right.
is kind of like, give it up, Warren.
That's clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dick Tracy, the character, goes on this
God, he's
long
85.
rant about basically like accepting that generations view movies differently than we do. And he's just like,
Wow.
they
That's
want to.
great.
They
Yes.
want to. They think of it like a book. They want to watch one chapter at a time, split it up over 7 nights, pause it, go get dinner, come back.
That is a very boomer take on
is.
streaming. It's like a book. It's like, well, it's not really like a
But
book.
he
Right.
starts the spiel, and you're like Dick Tracy, the kind of like the ultimate fascist in the
Sure,
way that
yeah.
Beatty plays him on these specials.
Sure.
You think he's like going on a like kids these days tirade, and
Uh-huh.
he's basically imploring Warren Beatty to let go of his concept,
Wow.
his old ways.
It's a lot of
Um,
tension in that.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting about all of that
Mm-hmm.
is that Dick Tracy was basically out of step when it was released.
Correct.
The film,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like it was
Yes.
already kind of like, nah, Batman is the thing, and you're kind of a little too classy and adult.
That
and like,
movie is coming like what 2-3 years after Dragnet, where the whole point is
Right.
like to put this guy in a modern context would be
Would be
absurd.
insane.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
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 yeah,
right, right. So it's funny that like only now is he like, you know what? Maybe Dick Tracy just isn't for the kids anymore.
Yeah.
But I love you, Warren.
I love Warren.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
85 years old. He's not going to make another real movie.
Well, one of the things in the special is he kind of throws out every possible idea of what he could do with the rights. And he's like, I don't know, maybe I hire a younger actor. Maybe someone else directs it and I just produce. Maybe it's a TV show. Maybe
Oh.
it's gritty.
I mean, those
maybe
are
it's a cartoon.
All ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's,
Probably better ideas than
I do want
Dick
him to
Tracy
take
on
those-
Zoom.
he
Yeah.
basically surrenders the idea of I will write, direct, produce, and star in a new Dick Tracy feature film that is a direct sequel to my film from 33 years ago. He's now like, who knows what it is?
Right. But he certainly will be keeping those rights.
I was going to say, I
Never
want
gonna
him to
let
take those rights to the grave.
Yes,
Like, those
me
are going
too.
into the ground
Yes.
with him.
And then
yes.
what happens? I wonder. That's the
Mhm.
real question. Can he leave them to his daughter? Or,
I hope so.
You know, how does that work?
I hope Annette Bening gets to play Dick Tracy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Would watch.
She'd be good.
100% would watch.
Anyway,
old is Annette
best
Bening?
supporting actor.
Best supporting actor.
Okay, best supporting actor. Okay, yes,
Yes.
we're gonna do
Yes.
our Blanky Awards.
Mhm.
It's time to do them now.
Yes.
You know what, Joe? I don't know what your picks are gonna be. Not that that's
It's a
that
nice, fun
surprising,
mystery. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know where you fall on some of these.
Can I also
big
say before we
movies of the
begin-
year.
Thoroughly how much I'm enjoying the Danny Boyle miniseries that's
Oh,
going on right
come
now.
on,
Daniel.
get out of here.
And in particular, the newly liberated David Sims being able to speak freely about
David is grinning ear to ear.
His homeland.
He's glowing.
That first episode, I think it was like 10 minutes in, you were talking about like the British educational system and like chat show hosts. And I think you like called someone a cunt at one point. I was just like, oh, it's all coming out. It's really fantastic.
Very English of me if I've been doing that.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. It was great.
Yes. I got a phone call recently from another Blank Check guest out of the blue while I was walking home.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, I'm in the car. I'm listening to X episode. It's very nice that you're not doing the bit anymore.
It is nice. Wow. It's a whole new era.
I feel like we recorded an episode recently though where a guest was genuinely unaware that David was from England, and David tensed up.
Sure, it
of
happened.
course.
It happened recently.
And I had to like step
fine.
in between and go like, you have to understand there's a history.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's okay that
That's
you don't
happened
know.
to me in real life too.
Yes.
Someone's approached me. No, I'm going to sound fucking so ridiculous now if I tell this story. I was having dinner with two of my friends at a lovely Fort Greene eatery.
You gotta tell the story because we don't have a monologue. We don't have an opening song. No opening.
Kimmel just comes out and he's like, oh, what's up? I forgot to write a monologue. I was having dinner with,
someone came up to me at dinner the other day. And
ladies and gentlemen, David Sims presenting the story.
No,
what if
this
he
is not the
brings
story.
you on stage
me.
at the Kodak Theater?
So I host a podcast and there's like a bit about, I grew up in England. None of you know that. I do have to occasionally do that when I'm interviewing English people where I sort of have to do like a little preamble of like, I'm sort of aware of some of these things because I grew up in England. Oh, sure. Did you? Yeah. Anyway, no, someone approached me at dinner and said, are you David Sims? Which is embarrassing.
Yes.
And my friend started laughing at me, as they should.
Yep.
And I said, I am. And he says, oh, that's, I like your work. And I was like, oh, thank you. And we talked for 2 seconds and somehow England comes up.
Amazing.
It's probably my fault. I can't remember how. And he said, where did you grow up? No, it wasn't. England didn't even come up. He just said, where did you grow up? And my friend started laughing more.
Of course.
And I went kind of like, all right. And he was like, what? And I was like, like the bit. And he's like, what? And I was like, my podcast. And he's like, oh, I don't listen to your podcast. I like your film writing.
Oh, fantastic.
I work at Paramount.
Oh.
And I was like, oh. And then I felt like an asshole.
Yes. Yeah.
And he was like, what's your podcast? And I was like, forget it. Get out of here.
What is a podcast?
Yeah, good question.
Okay.
This is supposedly a podcast. All right.
It is, yes. Okay.
Best supporting actor.
Right.
I'll say I was surprised by my own picks. I feel like
You surprised yourself?
A little bit. I usually do a lot more in real time throughout the year, updating.
Sure.
As I think you guys do.
And instead, this time, did you just kind of sit down and...
This year I was a little loose with it, and occasionally something would like pin enough that I would like...
Sure.
I'd put it down, but I wasn't like, I'll have a default 5. And then when I see a new performance I like, I'm knocking that out of the 5.
Yeah, well, I get that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I had a list that was like semi-settled a couple months ago, and then I hadn't looked at it in a little bit, and I was like, has anything new popped up? And there was very little shifting from how I felt. I don't know.
That's good.
I'm surprised with how some of these things shook out, but we'll see.
You go ahead.
Okay.
Now I want to hear.
Yeah.
My nominees.
Wow.
For Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins for Armageddon Time.
Sure.
Big T.
Raul Castillo for The Inspection.
Nice.
So hot. Is this Hotties of the Year?
Maybe. Get ready for this next one. Matthew Mayer, Funny Pages.
Nice.
Paul Dano for The Batman.
Oh.
Sure. You love that performance.
I do.
You're very fond of it.
And fifth nominee, Javier Bardem for Lyle Crocodile.
A movie I watched on an airplane a few weeks ago.
Propagandists.
Same.
It's a good performance.
It is.
David, it's a good performance.
I have no doubt.
An unreal performance. With full respect to Katie Rich, who has been banging this drum
That's true.
all season long.
She deserves the shout. She's been publicizing
she's
that
punching
movie.
the air.
I
Yeah.
was sitting on an airplane with my arms crossed, but
Sure.
Jesus Christ, he attacks this role with the same intensity of Austin Butler and Elvis, of like, this is the one I've been.
Is he doing the voice?
He has not dropped his character.
Yeah, Javier Bardem still does that voice.
Yes.
The thing about Lyle Crocodile is this is first of all, it's songs by Benj Pasek and
I'm
Justin
not
Paul.
crazy about this movie.
Well, no, this is what I'm going to say. Is
Yeah.
this is a movie
Right.
that,
That's not a selling point.
No,
those
right.
those two.
No.
This is a movie that absolutely has songs that were 100%, I'm certain, cut from The Greatest Showman.
Yes.
And maybe Dear Evan
Right. It's
Hansen.
their whatever. What trash you have lying
And also,
around, guys,
I'm not
for
a
doing
big
fucking
Pasek
crocodile
and Paul
movie.
fan to begin
Right.
with, and I'm not really excited about hearing
But-
Pasek and Paul B-sides.
As is their somewhat tradition, at least for me, they have one good song. And in this movie, they know they have one good song, and you know it because they play it 5 different times.
Correct.
They reprise that song so often.
That is their move, though, where they're like, okay, well, we got a bunch of shit for you, but don't worry.
Here's the one good one.
We'll have one hook.
Yeah.
Right? We'll have one thing we actually
I just he somehow makes this character feel morally complicated.
Yes.
When I think it is actually just sloppy writing.
Yeah, probably.
But he makes it into a choice. Anyway, you guys run off your 5 and then we can spotlight other. Or should I talk through my other guys?
No. Let's right. How do we do this?
I think once we all give ours, then we talk
been a
about our
long
other
year.
guys.
I'm annoyed because I also have Matthew Mayer in Funny Pages.
Oh,
I thought that was
wow.
a clever nom.
No,
That's
it's
a
an
good clever
incredible
nom.
Just a
performance.
good nom because I love that performance. I also have Anthony Hopkins in Armageddon Time.
Wow.
Well, he's amazing in it.
Yeah, no. And then you also have Javier Bardem for La La Land.
And then I
3 out of 5.
I have
in
Kei
common.
Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Sure.
I have Justin Long for Barbarian.
Right on the outside for me.
And I have Andrew Scott for Catherine Called Birdie.
That's a good pick.
Absolutely transformative performance.
He's wonderful in that.
Those are my nominees.
Sure, Reid. Reading
So
range up.
the thing that you did last year, Griffin, where you sort of explicitly said all my nominees are going to be not Oscar nominees.
That was 2 years ago. That was 2020. That was the pandemic year
You
where
had just not watched a lot of the sort of big hitters.
I was depressed about not being able to see movies in theaters.
It
and I
intrigued
avoided
me as a
most of it.
philosophical exercise, though, because by this point in the year, we've talked about the Oscar nominees a lot. I've certainly written about the Oscar nominees a lot. And it is interesting to me to sort of step outside there. And I imagine we'll talk about some of these other people in the near misses category. But I also have most of my lists are non-Oscar nominees.
One of my 20 acting nominees is nominated for an Oscar.
All right.
Yeah.
I think
and
I
I did not do
two.
that consciously.
Yeah. Well, you come about it, I think, probably more naturally than me. But this is a fun exercise.
But I always think about what you say, which is like, you want to fight for your guys. And here we come in. It's like
It's our
our
turn.
time to spotlight people.
Right.
It's less fun to nominate the people
It
who
is
are
a
already
little more
getting
boring.
lauded.
Well, and it's one of
even
those
if
things
I like those performances.
where, like, I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once in April.
Yeah.
And I walked out of that thing being like, wow, in a perfect world, Ke Kwan is going to get
Gonna
an
scrape
Oscar
a
nomination.
nom.
It's just like,
Right.
like it'll never happen, but like, what a great world that would be. He's going on my Blankies ballot or whatever. And now it's like steamrolling towards an Oscar.
Right, and there's nothing exciting about picking him, even though it's a phenomenal performance.
the
I'm going to be
100th
very
person-
happy
right,
for him to have an Oscar.
Yeah, he doesn't need me.
No.
All right, so my nominees then, all non-Oscar nominees in this category. Anthony Hopkins in Armageddon Time.
Ooh, 3 out of 3.
The 3-bagger.
It is an undefeated, incredible.
He's really, really good in it. Edward Norton in Glass Onion.
Oh,
okay.
Tim Roth in Resurrection.
Tim Roth.
Was also on the bubble for me.
Francisco Rubio in Bardo.
Wow.
And Stephen Yeun in Nope.
Another bubbler.
I love him.
So good.
What's Bardo?
The talk show host in Bardo. Oh, yes, you're making the What's Bardo
I've
joke.
never heard of that movie.
Bardo is a
he's the
movie
talk
that
show
I
host?
expected I was going to loathe, and I actually ended up liking it about halfway, which was like way better than I thought I was going to.
Absolutely.
So, and this guy's performance is like of the highlights. He's really good. He's quite good.
Now, I'll do the Blanky nominees when we do the other category because they do 10.
Yeah.
The Oscar nominees are what? Ke Kwan. Who else?
Why can I remember?
Brendan
Brian
Gleeson
Tyree
and
Henry,
Barry
Brendan
Keoghan.
Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, and who's the fifth one? Judd Hirsch.
Judd Hirsch.
Oh, yes.
Judd Hirsch.
Honestly, a terrific set of nominations.
Another one where you were at the Fabelmans premiere in Toronto, David, right? Same as me.
I sure was.
And the second Hirsch's character exits this movie, spontaneous round of applause from the audience, and I was just like, well, he's getting the Oscar nomination. And then it seemed for a while that he maybe
on
wasn't.
the bubble.
And then all of a sudden he comes roaring back, and I was like, see, I knew it.
Yeah.
So that was
I thought Dano was going to get it.
I thought so too. And I'll say, look, Dano, I previously argued I thought he was a lead for the movie. Upon seeing Fabelmans a second time, I felt less strongly about that opinion. But I also, as much as I think he's phenomenal in Fabelmans,
He's very good. He serves the movie just as it needs it.
incredibly well.
Yeah.
I think the Batman performance is being a little undersung. Dano hadn't been in a movie in like 4 years.
Is that true?
He basically
he made a movie.
He made a film,
right?
But I think this
He had
year
a
was
kid, I
his
guess.
first time on screen in like 4 years.
Right.
And such an incredible pair of performances that are at complete opposite sides. from a guy who is so specific in his look, in his temperament, in his vibe, to be able to apply himself in such radically different ways.
Yeah.
And I also just think like we're living in a post-Quantumania world, right? And David, your complaint about the Jonathan Majors performance as Kang, which I think is incredibly valid, is this guy is feeling the weight of, I need to show you all how serious a threat I am, that I can justify being the big bad of the next 10, whatever it is, right? And I just was sitting there the whole time going like, remember when these used to be the fun parts of these movies?
You get excited to see some character actor, eat a little...
I will say,
cheese.
wasn't that the thing with Brolin too? That Brolin got progressively less boring as those appearances went on.
But also he got less boring. But also his whole take was, I'm going to play this really real and grounded, which I think fucked people up a little bit because it worked for him.
Yeah,
almost in spite of itself.
But it was the opposite with him, where Thanos is just a tennis ball when he's introduced.
Right.
Brolin is then like cast in the role, and he has like 3 cameos where he's like, I am Thanos.
Now I'll do the thing that I'm going to do.
Right. Yeah. And then in Infinity War, you were like, oh, this is not like what we've seen of him so far. This is now this like performance that's being given.
Yeah.
Whereas this
surprising
now
depth
has the weight of that hanging over its head. And so he has to be like, get ready, folks.
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
I think there's
Thanos too. What?
A bit of that effect and a bit of obviously the Joker thing where it's like you have 2 guys win Oscars for playing the Joker, where how
clown that Batman hates.
Intense. He laughs at the things that make the rest of us cry and scream. But yes, the idea that now these roles are meant to be taken incredibly seriously.
So important.
And I'm like, Dano is able to I feel like it feels like he's having more fun with that role than most superhero villain parts I've seen in the last 10 years, while also being genuinely terrifying.
That's fine, but I got to move you along.
No, of course. That's all I want to say about that. Raul Castillo, Inspection, incredible performance, incredible movie. I don't want to say anything about it because part of the joy is watching that film and not knowing how to read this character.
He's handsome. That's my
also
read.
that.
Very handsome. David thinks he's very hot.
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins in Armageddon Time.
So the one guy we all had.
Matthew Mayer in Funny Pages is the funniest performance of the year.
But it's also just one of those performances where you're stressed out just looking at him standing still.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like he's an actor who could do lots of things. It's not like that's his only mode at all.
Yeah.
And so it was almost more impressive to watch this guy where you're just like, oh God, this guy's about to like break a window, like or something. Like I don't, or he's gonna start screaming. But it doesn't feel like some, whatever businessy, tricky performance.
No.
Great theater performer. Really love that guy. Saw him. There was a while there where I was seeing him in like everything I saw off Broadway was like Matthew Mayer was in it. Yeah. Love him.
Joe, do you want to run through your guys?
Yeah, I mean, Tim Roth in Resurrection is doing some high wire shit. Like that movie's doing some high wire shit, and I don't think it works if he's not there to square off against Rebecca Hall. Like she's tremendous. We'll get into that maybe later. But he just was one of those, like his presence, he enters that movie and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? What the ground that I was on is maybe like not as steady as it was before.
It's a good use of, he's a scary guy.
Of his vibe. His vibe. Steven Yeun is, maybe this is like my 3rd time that I've nominated him by now. Like he's so good in this role. And like, again, like gives that movie another level that like the whole part of that didn't really need to be there as much as it didn't need to go that hard, right?
Yes. No,
to coin a phrase that I just thought of now.
He's one of the best actors of his generation, and I'm just so relieved that he's finally joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The headlines announcing he's finally we stopped dicking around with this other shit, Steven Yeun. Join the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I like how they cast him in what he's in Thunderbolts, right?
Right.
Where they're like he's playing but a big role.
Important.
Where they can't, he's not just, Jack FBI or whatever.
Right.
He's not just in this one, okay? He's going to be playing
Jack FBI is one of my favorite superheroes.
Great character. And also might now start appearing in Patreon March Madness updates.
How did you guys feel about Norton and Glass Onion? I think
the only one incredibly funny.
I think he's very well used in it. And I wonder, I tried to ask Ryan Johnson about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching it being like, well, look, I know that Edward Norton is a bit of a tough customer.
Get out of here. Wait
and
a second.
also
What?
in the last 10 years has like pivoted to being like one of these VC like fucking tech bubble.
Is he like that? He's like,
He's
and
one
he's
of
always on like Joe Rogan, right? Like
Oh,
he's,
God.
But he's one of these guys who's like investing in all these companies
Good for
and is
him.
all about like whatever.
I hope
Yes.
he makes lots of money doing
Yes.
that. And so I was just trying to get like,
Incubators. Yeah.
but it's just a very good use of his like
Yeah.
weird mix of like handsome charm and kind of nervy,
Yeah.
weirdness.
Well, and there's not really much of a turn with that character. It's not like you
No.
initially, like from minute one, you're like this fucking guy.
right.
So he's able to sort of lean into that even further as the movie goes along,
Well, it's right.
which is
It's
really
the
fun.
gambit of the movie, which is everything is exactly how it appears
Right.
upon first impression,
Right,
and then we
right.
make you overthink it.
But
Right.
because it's Edward Norton, I do think it does help that you're like, well, maybe there is a second layer to
course.
this guy.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
has to be.
we
And
we
of
have
course the
talked about it
twist is
so many
there.
times, but it just never stops being confounding to think about Edward Norton being positioned as the return to the 70s like method actor
Yes.
leading men.
Yes.
And now he basically only works playing like
Wes Anderson roles.
emasculated
Yeah.
dudes in Wes Anderson movies
Yeah.
and playing like parodies of his own pomposity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He like only works in comedies now.
Yeah. But what a great, like,
Or
fascinating
his
career arc.
perceived self-seriousness.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, Ryan only had nice things to say about it.
Yeah, good.
So he
Great
did not-
performance.
yeah.
I should also say, though, every single one of those Oscar nominees I think is great. Both of the Banshees boys, I love them. Brian Tyree Henry has been Oscar worthy for a while.
I think that's a very good performance.
Yeah, it
But
is.
yeah, he is one of those guys who you're just like, well, he's good in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Dano is great in Fablemans.
He is.
Or no, wait, but
He
it's
was
Hirsch
ignored.
got the nomination.
It's Hirsch.
Who else?
But Hirsch
Again,
is also
Yeah.
great.
Hirsch rules.
Dano,
So
I just thought was going to get that.
yes.
Here's your first nomination,
Yeah.
buddy. Like, congrats on like
Yep.
many years of good work.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And instead, Hirsch got the sort of valedictory nomination.
Mhm.
Justin Long is amazing in Barbarian.
Yeah, he
Yes.
is.
He's another sort of a, like Norton. He's crucial to the meta twist
Yes.
of the movie.
Yeah.
The use of him against type.
Mhm.
And he plays it so well. Andrew Scott, just like, have you seen Catherine Called Birdie?
I have not.
Freak.
Embarrassingly.
You're sick.
I
Griffin,
know.
it's a good movie.
You're sick.
It was a fucking I missed the 3 days it was in theaters and I hate
Yeah.
watching stuff at home thing.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's a good home watch.
It is.
I will watch it.
There are
absolutely
worse home watches than that
Yeah.
one. And there's just a moment in that movie, the people who've watched it will know what I'm talking about, where he just is cradling Billie Piper's face and talking to her,
Yeah.
where you're just like, this guy just figures out how to fuck me up every once in a while, like
Yeah.
in a new way. And I don't always love Andrew Scott.
I
But I
was
love him.
talking to someone who worked on that movie
Sure.
who was talking
Dunham.
about watching him work. It was not Lena Dunham. And saying like he's like a different species. Like watching him work, it was one of those moments where I understood like, oh, people who are that level of actor, they're just like existing on a different wave. Like they weren't even saying as a positive or a negative.
Yeah.
But they were just like his weird ability to conjure stuff up and put energy through the lens and all that.
Yeah.
Shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Who's your winner?
My winner, I think, is Anthony Hopkins.
It's a fair win.
It's a good one.
I got no beef with it.
Yeah.
He's
Did you
amazing in
did
that
you run
movie.
through your
But Kate Kwan is my winner. He
Yeah.
always has been.
He always
That's
has
I am positive on that movie, but not fanatical or whatever. You
Yeah.
know, not like
Right.
sort of best of the year with it. But I've just always thought that like he's everything powering that movie. I love
I
that
agree with
performance.
that.
I'm happy if he wins an Oscar.
Yeah, I'll be really happy if he wins an Oscar.
Who's your winner?
My winner is Tim Roth. Who,
Tim Roth.
Yeah. Would make my lineup even if I opened it to all Oscar nominees and whatever.
Mr.
Like,
Orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ben and I saw Resurrection together.
Yeah.
And Ben, not to put you on blast, but you were like, I'm confused by that performance.
Yeah, it has not stuck with me at all either.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm remembering
Yeah.
as we're talking about it. Yeah, I just felt weird to see him in that role.
Well,
Maybe-
if I can speak to the experience of watching the movie next to you.
Yeah.
You seemed thoroughly creeped out every time he was on screen and talking.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
unnerved, going like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
And then afterwards you were like, it just like for what he's saying, it's weird how calm he's being about all of it.
Yeah.
that is true.
And that's the thing I find fascinating about that performance
Yeah.
is it's like he is saying the most insane demented shit in the world.
Yeah.
That movie hinges on, is this guy for real or not?
Well, that's things you never know if he believes what he's saying.
Correct.
And I don't know if Roth knows whether he believes, you know what I mean? Like, I would
Yes.
love to talk to him about that. And just like, how much did you follow down the path of, I need to know whether he's being real or not?
But
Because,
he says everything like it's his coffee order at Starbucks.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's the most terrifying shit.
Can I just tell you who's your winner? Oh, Roth.
Yeah.
Right. Who's handing the trophies? I always like
Yes.
to do that.
Sure.
Yes.
So Ruth Nega Griffin is giving Anthony
Yeah.
Hopkins
Oh,
a
sure.
trophy.
Yeah.
Mia Wasikowska is
Yeah.
giving Kehu Kwan a trophy.
That's nice.
And Polly Draper of Shiva Baby,
That's
remember
right.
her?
That's right.
Is giving
That's fun.
Tim Roth a trophy.
That's a good
Can we
one.
talk Hopkins for a minute, just because he's the only one all three of us shared?
Yeah.
The only three bagger?
Yeah.
This was the year of people investigating their own Jewish childhoods
Yes.
and not casting Jewish actors,
Sure,
right?
sure.
And Hopkins felt like almost the most egregious out of all of them, right? And then I saw this movie and I was like, I have never seen anything remind me more of my grandfather
Yeah.
specifically than this performance.
That's cool.
A similar sort of like, I mean, my grandfather was a Hungarian immigrant,
Sure.
but of a similar age and a very similar temperament.
Yeah.
It just felt like it completely captured this vibe of the thing. And it is quietly one of those thermostat performances
Mhm.
where he is playing both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to strategically guide this grandson
Right.
and teach him the best way to function within the world, but also imbue some innate sense of morality with him,
Right.
where a lot of other people around him are just telling him what he needs to do to succeed.
Yes, he has this moral center that you totally believe, but then he will also say something like, don't rock the boat, where you're like,
Right.
oh,
Yeah.
well, but
And it changes
That's much
based
more
on
authentic.
who else
And
is in the scene, what
Right.
time of day it is, what the grandson says to him.
Well, and that's survival instinct, right?
Of
So
course.
when does survival instinct kick in?
And it's like a
yeah.
pin drop silent performance.
Yeah.
It's like what Robin Williams' line about Gus Van Sant, he's so subtle, it's almost subliminal.
Yeah. That was in his Oscar speech. Yeah.
Yes.
James Gray's grandpa was like an Eastern European Jew
Yeah.
who had passed through Liverpool,
Mhm.
Right.
and that is why he cast, obviously, British actor in the role.
Yeah.
And he showed me when I interviewed him. I'm going to just keep bragging about the interviews I did.
Please.
I guess he showed me a picture of his grandpa,
Mhm.
and he really did look like an old gent. Like
Yeah.
that kind of grandpa.
Yeah.
Where it's like he's always dressed up a little more than he needs to be.
Uh-huh.
Like he has a hat.
That's my
Kinda-
grandfather
yeah.
was a suit man. Yeah.
My grandpa Julius gave himself the middle name of Napoleon,
Wow.
which I have never forgotten.
Wow. If I can call out just like one other bubble thing quickly.
Yeah.
Bubble thing, the Judd Apatow movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. I'd like to nominate the entire cast of the bubble. Obviously, it goes without saying that I would nominate each category with 5 performances from the bubble.
Right, of
Which you
course.
probably could.
I could.
Yes, you probably could.
Good
do
cast. No, I just want to say Justin Long in Barbarian, I feel like gets a lot of shout outs as like, this is a performance that should have been considered more seriously for Oscars. David gets the gold star for being brave enough to put him in the 5. I think quietly Yeoman's work in that movie being done by Bill Skarsgård.
Scarsy's great.
Oh, yeah.
Where the first 30 minutes of that movie hinge entirely on, is this guy the central conflict of the movie?
Right.
Is this guy, because especially Barbarian was sold on this, don't know anything about it
Right.
going in.
Right.
Yeah,
Or
no, he's
is this
brilliantly
a completely
deployed.
innocent, sweet guy who just has mildly creepy vibes?
Yeah.
Who does?
Well,
got-
and
got
that's
weird
his.
clown eyes.
That's why you cast Bill Skarsgård.
It's
right?
smart
Yeah,
of him
got
to lead
old
into
clowny.
that. Him
Because
producing
Castle
the
Rock,
movie
did
is
you
very
see-
telling.
Watch
No.
Castle Rock at all? Better show than probably its reputation gets, and that's the vibe he's working on that too. Where you look at him, it's just like how outside the norm of everybody else's experience are you in this movie?
Fascinating actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Long, the scene where he, really seems to be repenting and
yes.
like aware, and then of course
That
like
bar
flips
scene.
right back.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, sure.
No,
sure.
no, later. Oh, but the bar scene
scene
is
at the
really
bar where
good
he
too, where he
explains-
explains what he did, and you're like, well, he's guilty,
Yeah.
but you're
Yes.
like, but I understand that this man does not really think he is, or
Yes.
he's walled off
Yeah.
a part of himself, like to sort of justify it.
Yeah.
Also, just the first cut to Long is probably the most
Wow, it's so fucking
satisfying
funny.
Yeah.
moment of 2022. Yeah. Especially seeing it with the crowd.
We'll return to the 8th annual Blank Check Awards after a word from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Mubi, a curated streaming service dedicated to elevating great cinema from iconic directors to emerging auteurs. There is always something new to discover. With Movie, each and every film is hand-selected. It's like your own personal film festival, streaming anywhere, anytime. And now let me fire up Movie.com, see some of the stuff that's on there right now. I'm watching Bill Duke's The Killing Floor on Mubi, his first film. If y'all have not checked out the filmography of the great Bill Duke, it's well worth doing. And that's his first movie was a TV movie, but it's really a movie. It just debuted on PBS, and it's about like union struggles and leading up to the Chicago riot in 1919, and it's so fascinating. What else is on there? Terrorizers. I really need to watch that. It's on my watch list. Wow, the director's cut of Nymphomaniac. Maybe Lars von Trier is going to win our bracket, March Madness. You don't know. Could happen. And you're going to need to watch both parts of Nymphomaniac. Daughters of the Dust, Julie Dash's masterpiece. That was on a lot of Sight and Sound lists. Anyway, look, there's lots of great, varied, interesting cinema on Mubi, and that's what's important. Some of the stuff they obviously want to point to right now, speaking of Lars von Trier, they've got his The Kingdom Exodus, which is the new season of his famous TV show, The Kingdom. They've got all the seasons there, 1, 2, and now this, 3. It's like his Twin Peaks. It's set in a haunted hospital. It's super cool. And Park Chan-wook's Decision to Leave, wonderful film. That's extremely exclusively on Mubi in the US and many other countries. You can try Mubi free for 30 days at mubi.com/check. That's mubi.com/check for a whole month of great cinema for free.
Best Supporting Actress.
Best Supporting Actress.
Okay,
I'll go first.
do it.
Chloe East for The Fabelmans.
Nice.
Sigourney Weaver for Avatar, The Way of Water. Keke Palmer for Nope. Nina Haas for Tar. And Lashana Lynch for The Woman King. Those are my nominees.
It's a good list.
Thank you. I agree.
Show Reid.
Mine are Jennifer Ely for She Said. Kate Hudson for
her.
Glass Onion.
Sure. Oh, yes.
I mean, I should have put money down on that.
Yeah, you should've.
I could have.
That's on you. That's
that's on me.
You're poorer now than you could have been,
Yep.
and that's on you.
I could have retired.
Judith Ivey in Women Talking.
Also should have put money down on that for Joe.
Samantha Morton in She Said, and Rachel Sennett in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rachel Sennett and Bodies. Did you nominate her last year?
No, weirdly I didn't, which is why I felt liberated to do it. She's by far my favorite part of that movie, a movie that I don't really love, but she is sparklingly funny in that movie and talented, and I love her.
Griffin, who you got?
Okay. My nominees for Best Supporting Actress are Naomi Merlan in Tar, Dolly De Leon in Triangle of Sadness.
Snubbed by the Oscars.
Yep. Keke Palmer in Nope. Chloe West in The Fabelmans.
It's Chloe East.
Jesus Christ.
Going in a completely opposite direction, Griffin. Jesus.
Chloe South in The Fabelmans. And Thuso Mabudu in The Woman King.
Great performance. It's almost a lead performance. Not to hack.
Bordering on.
I'll say this. I feel the same way about Keke Palmer.
I agree.
Stay
But
tuned.
That one is
Fellas.
very cuspy or whatever for me. And they campaigned her in supporting, and I was sort of like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Chloe is,
You got to
it's an
stand by
ensemble
your critic
movie.
circle there. So, yeah.
Well, I was happy when she won.
Yeah.
Chloe is like the lead.
Yeah.
Sure.
And like she's, a little in and out. Obviously Viola Davis is like the star of The Woman King.
Yeah.
But it kind of becomes Nawi's movie in that.
I agree. Look,
kind of does.
I am usually the one throwing out crazy category fraud accusations. I strategically, actress was my toughest category.
Yeah.
There were 2 performances that at one point were on my actress long list that I just shifted so I could get them in.
I think it's fine.
Yeah. So
it's
we
cuspy.
have no shared people?
We had Chloe East.
Well, no 3 baggers. I
Right.
mean.
No,
Right.
but
But I
we shared Keke Palmer.
Little
as
tip of the
well.
hat. Yes.
Yeah.
Chloe's in The Fabelmans.
It's just Amy Adams and Catch If You Can
Yes.
all over.
Yeah.
again.
Yes.
Yeah.
She rules. Can't wait to see what she does next.
That's my feeling.
Rewatched that movie and I liked her even more.
Same.
And I liked her the first time.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, because the first time watching it, I was like, "Oh, I'm surprised this character's sticking around the movie."
Yeah, you're like, is this a 2-scene character? And then
Right.
she's in the
Yeah.
back third. of
right.
the movie.
And then you watch it a second time, and she's actually in it for less time than you remember. because that end section is so compressed, but it's like 4 or 5 scenes in a row that are just so good.
Yes.
Have a complete arc.
Yep.
And so many actors, I think, could play condescendingly towards the character, and she plays it so earnestly. And I agree, it's very similar to the Amy Adams performance, which infuriatingly took 3 more performances after that for people to finally take Amy Adams seriously when that should have been her immediate star moment. We'll see what happens to Chloe East. Yeah. Keke Palmer and Nope.
So good.
I feel like we might have an opportunity to talk about again later in the ceremony.
Tipping my hand a little bit, but
another just like she has been on a good run for a while.
Yeah.
But that's a performance that kind of makes her undeniable.
Yeah.
There are few people in her age bracket who I think have more charisma.
Yeah.
Just pure charisma.
That's the thing. It's just like a absolute like just bubbling performance.
And it's what she in particular, it's one of those things where it's like there's so many directions she could go because like she is undeniably like a fantastic movie star, but she's also like so personality forward that like you could see her doing like they've tried to put her as like, you know, hosts of things, right? She should absolutely host a major award show at some point because like she'd be fantastic at it. You know, television, obviously she's got the right kind of like personality where you would, you know, show up for 10 episodes of something with her. So you can see where it's like a little bit of almost like choice paralysis where it's just like, where do we put her?
She feels like an old school star where you're like, she could do anything. Not only play any type of role, but she could do like a fucking review on Broadway. You know, she could host the Oscar, like anything.
Yeah.
Also, that movie is, you know, so acidic and like, you know, mordant in its view of, you know, making entertainment.
Sure.
How Hollywood works and how it spits people out. And you need her. You need someone who's still's got, you know, the kind of like her and fucking who's the guy? Who's the cute guy?
From the OA, Brandon Perea,
He's
who
so
I've
cute.
loved since the OA, and
You
I
need
feel
those
so
guys.
justified now. Yes, exactly.
The Oscar nominees, by the way, are Angela Bassett, Hong Chow, Carrie Condon, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Stephanie Hsu. I don't know who's going to win.
No, it's the most wide open acting category I think in quite a while.
I was calling months ago that Jamie Lee was going to win as like the career anointment, and then it felt like she was wiping out.
Yeah,
and then now she's got some heat again.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis as an actor, but it would be ridiculous for her to win.
Of those 5 nominations,
I mean, she serves the movie just fine.
I rewatched the film a second time. Her final scene's really fucking
it is.
good.
She gets better as that movie goes on. I think of the two of them, though, I think Stephanie Hsu is the one I would rather win.
Giving
of
a more complex performance,
Yeah.
but she's not going to win.
But like, I loved Stephanie Hsu. I loved Carrie Condon. I love Angela
Carrie Condon,
Bassett.
I think, is pretty incredible in Banshees. Yeah,
she's amazing as an actor.
I feel the same way, Joe. I have nothing negative to say about Angela Bassett in Wakanda Forever. It feels a little absurd to me that she would finally win her Oscar for that movie, and that's the movie that would like break the fucking Marvel.
And on some
Oscar
level,
thing.
that's not her problem. You know what I mean? It's like that's the Oscars' fault. That's
not
the
her
industry's
problem.
fault. Right?
Yes,
and I think that's why she will win.
Yeah,
and she gave that interview to the New Yorker where she's like, "Why not me?"
Yeah,
basically, and it's sort of like, I know.
Yeah,
and it's just a question of like, can they hold their nose?
Well,
to
here's
vote for
the
a
thing,
Marvel
though,
movie,
and this is one of those like
which
precursors.
I imagine a lot of voters will have to do because
precursors don't predict awards; they reflect voting patterns. But when it's a split like that, somebody wins BAFTA, somebody wins SAG, somebody wins the Globes.
Yeah,
the Globes are like by far the least predictive because there's obviously no voting overlap.
Right,
so like. That's the only thing where I'm just like, oh God, if the SAG contingent really likes Jamie Lee Curtis and the BAFTA contingent really liked Carrie Condon, I do feel like now the votes will be spread out so far.
Yeah.
That like the threshold's going to be low, which is why if I had like $100, I might throw it on Hong Chow because like who the fuck knows at this point?
Yeah. I mean, Hong Chow was good in that movie.
She's great.
Hong
She's
Chow
never bad.
did the best she could with the worst Oscar nominated movie of the year. And it's, I don't think anybody escapes that movie.
No.
Truly. If I were to nominate Hong Chow, I would nominate her for The Menu, if anything.
Same.
But
more seriously consider that.
Sure.
I don't like that The Whale has any Oscar nominations, much less 3. But
I agree. Look,
I have nothing against Hong Chow, certainly.
I think I'm in a minority on this regard, which is I think every performance in The Whale is good considering what they're being asked to do. I feel like most people I know will like give
I
it
sort of see what you're talking about.
Well,
I
like,
maybe won't go
give
that
it
far,
to
but
2 or 3 performances and then argue that the rest of them are terrible. I think the script is
the
a
ceiling
nightmare.
is so low on what you can actually
And
do
I think
with
they're
that
basically
material.
all being asked to do performances at incompatible energy levels and
Little bit.
styles.
A little bit.
Uh-huh.
So it's like you have to judge them all on their own criteria.
Yeah.
But my whole take on that movie is it's the fucking Susan Boyle Britain's Got Talent performance where
Go
it's
on.
like people really emotionally committing and doing technically strong work. And then the context around it is so condescending and toxic to me that I'm just like, I kind of can't separate this from.
There is
Yes.
a performance in that film that is radioactive. I'm sorry.
I see.
I'm sorry.
I
think that is a
I have found
radioactive
myself going
character.
against the consensus on that one.
Yeah,
because-
I feel the same.
And I think it's because I only just saw that movie, so I was so built up to thinking that she was going to be so terrible. We're talking
Yeah.
about Sadie Sink, but
I won't say who I'm talking about, but her
You're
name
talking- yeah.
rhymes with Matey May.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone that character on paper is a nightmare.
It's
No one
not a
could
great character.
Yes.
make that work.
that's
Yeah, sure.
sort of my feeling.
Yeah.
I don't envy her having to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah, no, it's not a good movie.
Yeah, awful.
I would put some money on Carrie Condon. Just the kind of like
Sure.
chaos.
I just feel like you at this point you're not going to get good odds.
It also
But yeah.
just feels like Banshees is so beloved, and weirdly now that might be the one category they give it to.
Right.
Banshees is like
Where like even original screenplay is
it's
so up
like
in the air
to-
at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's getting original screenplay?
Who the hell knows? It's either Banshees or Everything Everywhere or Tar or Fablemans,
They
kind
should
of.
give it
So
to
like
Fablemans.
they should,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
seem-
because McDonough has an Oscar.
seemingly
Right?
the
Donna
thing with
has an
Steven
Oscar.
Spielberg now is
No,
we'll
he
nominate.
lost. He has a short film Oscar. But
Yeah.
he lost for
He lost
to
to Jordan
Get Out.
Peele.
Oh, right.
So
right.
he
But he
could-
does have the short film Oscar.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but you know, right,
Yeah.
he's a writer.
Yeah.
I can imagine them wanting to give him a rating on. I don't
Sure.
know. Everything Everywhere
I
would be
agree.
a
I could
bad
see what's the 5th nominee in that category.
Triangle of Sadness.
Oh, yeah. The other 4 could
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dolly De Leon and Triangle of Sadness, a movie I'm
Nice segue.
pretty fucking mixed on.
Mm.
But I do not understand how that film hits as big
Yeah,
with the Academy
That's
as it does.
incredibly
and snub
curious.
her.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like that was a thing when that movie played at Cannes and people weren't sure if it had like long-term prospects in the awards, but they were like,
Yeah.
this performance is pretty incredible.
I think that film did not hit with actors. It hit with the other
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah.
That
It's
didn't get any
just
acting nominations for
My thing with Triangle of Sadness is, and it's nothing against Dolly De Leon or her performance.
her performance is good.
I think that movie
You're
is
really exhausted with the movie by the time she shows up.
I think
So-
it's a better movie if it ends a lot sooner, and by virtue then would truncate her performance. I really like that movie anyway.
I was
but yeah.
exhausted by the middle
Yeah.
chunk.
The middle's
that's
pretty
my favorite
exhausting, but
part.
the last part is the last part.
Right.
So you're so tired.
Yeah.
Her performance
And
just
then
kind
they're
of
like
won
50
me
more minutes.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, her performance is
Until the
great.
end
She's
of it.
very
Yeah.
funny in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't mind that movie. I don't know. People hate him now, and I'm kind of like, he's a little muckety muck.
Yeah. I'm Ruben Östlund positive.
Look, Oscars make everyone hate everybody.
They do. Well, it's not. It's the double can. That's why people hate him.
Sure, that's part of it.
Because
but-
I mean,
Right.
when I say people, I
Yes.
mean nerds on film Twitter. I
Right.
don't mean regular people who
course.
do not know who
Of
that
course.
man is.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And he gives these interviews now where he's like, maybe my next film is set on an iPad.
Right, you just
And people
cut
are
him
like,
off.
get the fuck out of here. And I'm like,
Listen,
you little rascal.
If film Twitter existed in the 1980s, Billy August would have been a pariah for winning
Sure.
2 Palme d'Ors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boring.
But also, it's just like this. It's not just that the season is too long, as people
it's
say.
it's a tad long.
Of
It is.
course,
Yeah.
right. It's also just like our media landscape means
Mhm.
these people are not only on the campaign trail for 6 months at least, if not longer, if they're
It's
filmed.
not like a full year.
Right.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once people basically have been
Full
on
year,
a year
full
long.
year. Yeah,
Right. and
definitely.
Östlund almost a year as well. But it's like if we're us terminally online film people
Who? What?
are being inundated with this shit
Yeah.
nonstop
Yeah.
for a year. It's
Yeah.
not like, for like 3 months they're going on late night talk shows.
Right.
It's like we're reading every fucking little excerpt of every interview. It makes you resent all of these people.
Yeah.
Naomi Merlan in Tar. I feel like Nina Haas is the supporting performance that a lot of people talk about.
She's great.
Nina Haas, I think, one of the best actors alive.
She's just one of those people who seems to have walked out of the real world. I don't know. She's such a
Yes.
special actor.
I-
Noemi Merlant is amazing in Tar.
I
love
just think
her.
I hear no one talking about that, and it is such an important sort of like, to a certain degree, she functions as the audience perspective.
Oh yeah.
But in that way where she's like opaque, transparent.
Yeah,
right?
and but yet is not being unreadable.
Right.
You know, it doesn't feel like she's
Right, but our access to her is so limited.
Yeah.
See that movie where she falls in love with an amusement park ride?
No, it sounds like my kind of shit.
Jumbo.
With an amusement park ride? Like
Yes.
that, like, because
Yeah.
I've seen that like 2020 or whatever.
No, like
that
a
they did on
Ferris
that.
wheel.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
No, I know.
She's in love with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think she's great.
She's great in that movie.
Yeah.
And you're right. She's sort of very, very crucial to the emotional firmament of that movie. I agree. Who else?
You guys
Sigourney
want-
Weaver, incredible. Come on, Griffin. You know, come on.
Did you nominate Sigourney Weaver?
I did.
I missed that. Oh,
You
wow.
blew it.
Okay. I
How
blew
did
it.
you not nominate her?
I right on the cusp for me, along
what
with Grace Hoffman, Resurrection, Kristen Stewart, and Crimes of the Future were the other ones I was sort of
Kristen
seriously
Stewart and Crimes of the
considering.
Future.
That is a strange performance.
It's a very
It's-
strange
I
performance.
I couldn't quite commit to putting her in the 5.
Yeah.
I admire the swing of it so
Sure.
much.
Sure.
Me too. I think she's doing a great job there. It's just such an odd thing.
is.
Grace Hoffman is great in Resurrection. But Sigourney Weaver, it just feels like this one of a kind thing. Where it's like, when this is never going to happen.
It's never going to happen again, right?
I mean, though maybe it will.
That's
What with AI?
Do you know what's the thing that's kind of preventing me from giving her the nomination?
What's that?
What
Is like wanting to see what she does with the character going
Navi
forward.
racism is the answer.
Navi racism.
Joe, did you
Yes.
have any other people you wanted to shout out?
I mean, Lashana Lynch, The Woman King.
well, right. Lashana Lynch.
Gabrielle Union, The Inspection. These are all my like top runners up.
I don't like that performance.
I don't either. And I like the inspection.
I like the
And I like
Inspection,
Gabrielle
too.
Union.
I love
love
Gabrielle
Gabrielle
Union.
Union.
Yeah.
I think she carries. I think that character on the page is part of my problem with that movie a little bit. I think
Yes.
the where that character ends up is a little. I don't
Mhm.
like the end of that movie. I really don't.
Gabrielle Union in that movie is arguably my Vin Diesel Sergeant Shroom award,
where
where
you're
it's
like, I was looking for this to be an
I'm
Oscar.
rooting
Yeah.
for this
yeah,
so
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
it fell a little short for me. I don't know. It's the one performance in that movie that feels a little acted to me.
The other
Yes.
one that I don't nominate but would be in any normal situation, this is where I put Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans. I do feel like
Yeah.
she's supporting in that movie. I don't
Yeah.
want to make a big deal of it.
No,
but like,
whatever.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
cuspy again.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to. Speaking of my actual nominees, though,
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Joe is taking
my
out
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson
in
tote.
Glass
Yes.
Onion Tote,
Yes.
which is my favorite thing
She,
that I've had.
the
made.
funniest line in the movie is when, Benoit is like, I can't remember the exact, but like, it's dangerous when people mistake,
Mhm.
Oh, right.
Speaking
Speaking
honest.
without
Speaking
thinking,
without
without
thinking, right.
without
Yeah.
being.
and she
coddled.
says, "Do you think, are you calling me dangerous?" Which
Yes.
I just think it's so funny.
Yeah.
She's got about 5 line readings in that one that like are absolutely the funniest thing in the world at that moment.
I think Catherine Hahn is also kind of unbelievable in that movie.
Han's good.
And it's so much
Interesting.
more
She's-
of a supporting work performance.
To me, with Kate though, it's
without
that
her huge moments.
we
you know?
Yeah,
finally
she doesn't really get.
come around to letting Kate Hudson do what she's best at
Oh,
again. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
After like the long road around
Yes.
about like what are we, are we just done with her? Are we not gonna
Our,
is she in
buddy
the dustbin
Richard
or
Lawson
whatever?
has so long stumped for a performance in Something Borrowed,
Something
which is
Borrowed, yep,
phenomenal. But
yep.
it's like you add the comedic element onto this.
Mhm.
The tone, the heightened tone of this movie that broke everyone's brain for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Really benefits her more than anyone
I'm going to
else.
throw something out.
Throw it
please.
out.
And I don't mean this to be mean to Kate Hudson. She hasn't given a single good performance since Something Borrowed. Between this,
It's true.
and
Right.
Glass
But this
Onion.
is what
It
I
is
mean. It's just
crazy.
like it
Yeah.
is.
Like,
It's
she's-
so
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that like we have this version of Kate Hudson back. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope other people take advantage of it.
yeah.
What are some runners up for me? Gwendolyn Christie and Flux Gourmet,
Mm.
which is a
I
really
gotta see
funny
that movie.
performance.
Gotta see it.
I do like I do like Stephanie Shu
Mhm.
a lot. Lake Huffman was Gislagi Malanda in Saint
Yes,
Omer, who's
same.
this kind of like quasi lead, quasi supporting, because she is kind of the central focus of the movie, but she's also like unknowable and
Yes.
quiet.
Yes.
But that is such a like the movie entirely functions on her performance making sense. You know,
Sure,
like
yeah.
yeah.
I want to talk about the two she said's though, because I
sorry. Go ahead.
I
no,
will-
sorry.
I will say I just
There's always one movie a
There
year that I
is.
bring to the table that
yes,
you guys just
cannot
can't
stand that
it.
movie.
I have not
Yes.
seen it. I have no opinion.
Even like I will grant that I like that movie more than most people like it. I
Yeah.
think generally think even if you don't like that movie, I imagine you have to like at least appreciate what these two are bringing to the table.
I have
Maybe-
never
maybe not.
disliked a Jennifer Lee.
I have also
performance.
never disliked the Jennifer Lee performance.
She's
and I think
absolutely.
Morton is well used in that movie. Yes.
Yeah, it's again like Samantha Morton's 2022 is weird. Like haul her out for like a scene in two different movies.
Fucking bad. In the
She's
Whale.
bad in the whale.
know,
Everybody's bad.
And I love her as an actor.
Yeah,
love
no,
her
I do
as an actor.
too.
Love seeing her.
I think I look. I think I just felt such empathy watching every actor in that movie trying to think about how you even approach
No,
playing
I
those
agree, yeah.
parts.
I just found out that they rehearsed for 3 weeks. We have to stop talking about
No,
this
we
movie
do.
that
We have
didn't
to.
even
It's,
like.
yeah, we're
But
talking
like,
about good
I was
movies,
like,
but
God, what were those rehearsals like?
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love a good.
Yeah.
I do when one
They're
scene
like, did they
performance.
rehearse in separate rooms?
Right. When a one scene performance is really good though, like Morton I think is, and she said,
Mm.
I'm a very like I'm a Beatrice Straight
Love.
loyalist. You know what I mean? I love
Absolutely.
seeing
her.
Someone coming in and
Yes.
throwing it down.
Yeah.
And then my other one
Condi
that I haven't
Alexander.
talked about is
Hmm?
Judith Ivey and Women Talking.
Yeah.
So,
was
so
like-
obviously there's a lot of good women and women are talking.
100%. Yes. And in Mark Wahlberg's Women Are Talking.
Women Are Talking, a movie that suffers from basically having like 3 supporting actress performances that all feel like they would be the one in any other movie,
Yeah.
and I think just completely obliterated each other.
I think that's probably true. Yes. Certainly at
Judith-
least with Jessie Buckley and Claire Foy, nobody could really agree on which
Yeah,
one they prefer.
It felt like Buckley was kind of
moving ahead.
moving towards a nomination, but
Yeah.
right, I just assumed
Yeah.
their votes kind of split each
But
other.
I agree with you that I think Ivy's the best.
Ivy's my
Ivy's
favorite.
amazing.
I think
Yeah.
she's really, really tremendous in that
I
movie.
love Sheila McCarthy.
Yes, also great.
Uh,
Yes.
I love all these Canadian
they're
legends
all
too.
Yeah.
You know, I love
Yeah.
Polly using all these.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a it's a good movie. I feel
Yeah.
like the movie's
It
got
is
a
a good
weird
movie.
rap.
It
I'm not
has.
sure
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess people just don't want women to talk.
Women do be talking.
Who are our winners? Who's your winner? Have you
Lashana
said?
Lynch, baby.
Lashana Lynch.
That's
is-
movie star magic right there.
Yeah,
she's
she's
been my winner for 6 months.
I mean, Keke Palmer for me, similarly, movie star magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mine's Hudson.
Another reason I flipped her supporting instead of lead because I can give her the win.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
The
Yours was who,
Blankies.
you said? Sorry.
Mine is Kate Hudson.
Kate H.
Cool.
The
Cool.
Blankies. I'm gonna give you.
Yes.
Should I
The
go 10 to 1 or
supporters.
should I give 1 to 10?
Do 10 to 1.
All right, Lashana Lynch 10.
Wait,
Justin-
hold on. Ask me again when you should do it.
Should I do 10 to 1, 1 to 10?
This feels like a 10 to 1 sketch for me.
Wow. Good.
All right.
Okay. Lashana
Lisa
Lynch
from
Woman King.
Temecula would play well at 10 to 1.
9, Justin Long.
Okay.
8, Kristen Stewart,
Mhm.
Crimes of the Future. 7, Barry Keoghan.
Mhm.
6, Michelle Williams in supporting. 5, Stephanie Hsu. 4, Paul Dano in The Fablemans.
Yeah.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
3, Brendan Gleeson.
Okay.
2, Carrie Condon, and 1, Kehu Kwan.
Surprised Carrie Condon that high. But
She's very good.
I know, I
She is.
agree.
Can't
I agree.
can't beef with it.
Yeah.
All right. So should we do screenplays now, or should we do lead acting?
I think screenplays and then go to leads because that's what we usually do. Yeah.
Okay.
Best Original Screenplay. Best Adapted Screenplay.
Original,
Original.
the tough one.
Yes.
Although adapted is tough in a different way. That like adapted is bizarrely
You're
weak
kind of
this
reaching
year.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're original hard to limit to 5.
Yes.
Adapted hard to fill
hard
out.
to
Hard to
Fill
make
five.
that 5.
I
Yeah,
did
hard to
some
make it to 5.
real
Yeah.
stretching.
You
Yeah.
were stretching. The original nominees at the Oscars. Let's see. Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Fableman's, Tar, Triangle. Right. We just
Right.
talked about
Yes.
this. Yes. Okay. My nominees: Tar, Todd Field.
Mhm.
Eternal Daughter, Joanna Hogg.
Mhm.
Spielberg and Cush, The Fablemans.
Mhm.
Spiel and Cush. Jordan Peele for Nope. James Gray for Armageddon Time. Heavyweights.
It's good.
Reading Rainbow?
Mine are After Sun, Benediction, Banshees of Inisherin, The Fablemans, and Tar. I should say the names, right? After Sun,
Yeah.
Charlotte Wells. Benediction is Terrence Davies. Martin McDonough is Banshees of Inisherin. Kushner and Spielberg, Fablemans, and someone named Todd Field for Tar.
David, you and
Todd
I
the
went 4 to 5 overlap.
Okay.
My nominees are Jordan Peele, Nope.
Right.
Cush and Spiel,
Yep.
Fablemans. James Gray, Armageddon Time. Todd Field, Tar. And David Cronenberg, Crimes of the Future.
Cronenberg, great pick. Yeah, it's a loaded category.
Yeah.
Most of the movies I loved the most this year were
Yeah.
original screenplays.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. the winner is actually the tough one for me, much as it will be for the Academy.
Yeah.
If they give it to Everything Everywhere, I will be a little annoyed. Assuming that they're winning picture and director.
Right.
Yes.
Like, please, but Kushner doesn't have an Oscar.
Yeah.
He'd be a worthy winner.
Yes.
Mhm.
I really, really would like that to happen.
And McDonough.
Sure. Good movie. Love that movie.
If you love that movie and you
Yeah.
want to give that guy a writing Oscar, here's your chance. And then
Sure.
I think my winner is Todd Field for Tar, which I think the more I watch that movie, and I keep watching it, it's on Peacock. I also had the 4K.
Mm.
Do you have the 4K?
I don't yet.
It's got her face.
I know. It's a good cover.
It's a good cover. That screenplay is immaculately designed.
I think it might be my winner
crafted.
as well. This is one of those things that where it's
also
truly
so funny. Like the
Yes.
writing
Yeah.
of it is very, very funny.
Nope, Fablemans, and Tar are the three I've sort of stretched between.
Sure.
But if I have to, it's odd. I mean, because all three of those movies are auteurist.
Yeah.
With one person writing and directing them. Spielberg obviously has Kush.
Right.
Right. The Dent Kush on the side.
Right.
But you're like, which one do I think I valued the screenplay more than the directing, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense?
No. Yeah. That makes a ton of sense.
And it's I think all three of those movies are incredibly well written, incredibly well directed. But Tar is the one where I just go how do you sit down and write that?
yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. I just go how do you write
Well,
that movie?
You bring in Lydia Tarr.
Right.
And you say, tell me about your
Right. Tell me
Yes.
everything. Yes.
But that's the whole fucking meme of
Yeah.
I thought she
It
was a
seems
real person.
right.
It's just everything about it seems real. And I don't know if you guys have had this experience, but anyone I talk to who works in music is I have never seen any movie get every
Get
detail.
the sort of the being in an orchestra, the details of that,
The
Yes,
intangibles,
yes,
where
yeah.
you're that is who they would reference, that is how they would position them, that is the tone, that's how this room would look.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything about it doesn't make sense. And his WTF is really good. And Merrim was so did you just know all of this? And he's like, no. I went to Focus and said I want to write a movie in this world, and then they referred me to a couple experts.
It's really interesting that in this year where so many people's movies were so personal to them, Spielberg and obviously James Gray, and even Jordan Peele making
Nope, it's
Nope
him
in a way
working
that
through-
working
yes.
through stuff, working
Yeah.
through stuff from his
That
career.
movie's
And
about
Todd
Mad
Field
TV.
is what if I made a movie about a conductor? How about
Yes.
that? Why don't I just do that?
Let me tell you though, this is a bossy conductor.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Wait,
that
did
was
you
his
do
original
yours?
title was The Boss
Yeah.
Conductor.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be great. Did you do yours, Joe?
Yeah.
I missed this. Did I miss?
Yeah.
my brain
After
doesn't
Sun
work.
and Benediction.
Oh yeah, right.
and-
Yeah, you went first.
Who's your winner?
My winner's Kushner
wins?
and Spielberg for Fablemans.
Yes.
They should win.
They should win.
They should win.
Yeah.
I mean, just the name alone, Fablemans.
Come on.
Yeah, brilliant.
Part of me wants to flip my winner to Nope, just so all three of them.
There you
win.
go.
Do it.
I'm just gonna do that.
Why
So
not?
Tar,
Do it.
Nope, and Fablemans.
Who's stopping you? No one's stopping.
Three phenomenal screenplays.
Wait, Checky's coming onto the stage to stop you? Don't
Boing, boing. It's okay. Someone with a baseball bat just clocked him into row U.
Our squad, took
They
care
hit
of that.
Checky with a sim stick. He's now puking in the corner.
Let me give you the Blanky
Okay.
choices here, which
Sure.
are 5, Nope, 4, Fablemans, 3, Everything Everywhere, 2, Banshees, 1, Tar.
I want to say this just as an overarching thing. I like Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Me too.
but I do think I'm so exhausted by the tug of war on this movie that it
Tug of war in what
chilled
way?
me.
It's tough to be an Oscar favorite.
It is just so annoying that this movie now exists only at these polar extremes of this is
Yeah.
the worst thing to ever happen to the film industry, or this is the most important movie ever made.
For whatever reason, I have so curated / limited my
Yes.
social media experience that I haven't gotten really that. When I found out that people are being super annoying about Everything Everywhere All at Once on Twitter / Tumblr or whatever, my mind was kind of blown because I was like, really? I had just experienced none of it.
I'm not even talking about social media.
Yeah.
I have been
Conversation.
I have been in the David Sims school of automatic blocks and mutes.
Oh, yeah. Don't mean
yeah.
them all.
In-person conversations,
Wow.
text conversations
It's
from
so
friends.
polarizing.
I mean, in the last 48 hours, I met someone who has seen the movie 20 times
Uh-huh.
What?
and gotten texted by a friend who said it is the final nail in the coffin for cinema.
Wow.
I would say both of those people are
This
a
is
little
what I'm
It's
ridiculous.
like
saying, though.
Olympic judging, right? You lop
Yeah.
off the high score, you lop
Right.
off the low score, and then you see what you got. Yeah.
I forgot to announce that Bradley Cooper, Anders Anderson Lee, and Mike Feist gave out the supporting actor awards.
Oh, of course. But of course.
And worst person in the world won best original screenplay last year for 2 of us. And Joe, you gave it to Petit Maman. I just like to say these things. Best original screenplay is done. I don't think we have anything else to say about that, right? We all did our winners?
Yeah.
Okay. Best adapted screenplay. I will start.
All right.
Yeah, my Mr. Fantastic category
This is the tougher one.
because I had to stretch.
You had to stretch. Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So the Oscar nominees, I feel like, are a little weird too, right? What are they?
Mhm.
Let's see. Like, who's winning the Oscar, Joe?
They think it's going to be All Quiet on the Western Front, which shows you
fuck's sake.
which shows you how weird
that is an
that could-
absolutely horrible adaptation.
Yeah,
that is
I mean,
a terrible adaptation.
I don't
of that
know
book.
from adaptations of that book, but like,
Sorry.
it's deeply bizarre that's.
Oh my god, that would be a catastrophe.
It's either going to be that or women talking, and I deeply
that
hope
would
it's
be
women
fine.
talking.
Women
Of course,
talking
of
is
course.
fine.
But like, women talking has no momentum, and
No,
All Quiet on the Western
doesn't.
Front has all the momentum.
It does feel like it's got to win something.
Well,
I
it's going to
think
win
it
a bunch
can
of.
win
all
It's
the
going to win a
technical
bunch of
awards.
technical.
I know, but
Yeah.
it feels like David, would you not be happier if it wins screenplay and we're spared at winning Best Picture?
Well, it's not going to win Best Picture.
I hope not.
No, it's not winning Best Picture. That's a BAFTA thing. Those guys.
Everything
are
Everywhere
weird.
All at Once winning
About the war.
winning SAG really, I think, short that.
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think
Everything
hope so.
Everywhere Once has now won the amount of awards where no movie has ever lost Best Picture.
One of
basically.
them. Apollo 13 is the only one who's ever.
I know,
won-
but it's about to win the WGA.
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
God, yeah, it's All Quiet, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun, and Women Talking are the Oscar nominees.
Right.
Yeah.
Any of those are better than all.
Yeah.
Correct.
My nominees are 3,000 Years of Longing, George Miller and Augusta Gore.
Mm-hmm.
After Yang, Kogonada.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine Called Birdie, Lena Dunham.
Mm-hmm.
Women Talking, Sarah Polley.
Mm-hmm.
And Both Sides of the Blade, Christine Anjou and Claire Denis.
Nice.
Joe?
In alphabetical order, mine are After Yang, Kogonada, Bones and All, David Kajganich,
I'll never know how to say his name, and I should
Sure.
make an effort to find out.
Catherine Called Birdie, Lena Dunham, Living, Kazuo Ishiguro, and Women Talking, Sarah Polley.
Well, triple bagger. My nominee is Women Talking, Sarah Polley.
Yep.
3,000 Years of Longing, George Miller, and George Miller's daughter, who I forget the name of.
Augusta Gore.
I don't write this out as well as you guys do. Glass Onion,
Yep.
Ryan Johnson.
Yep.
I feel weird about that as an adapted.
I
I
do
know
too.
why. I know why it's an adapted.
their
but
rules.
it is
I'm
their
just
rules.
going off of
Yep,
their rules.
I understand.
And once again, I was stretching this category. Avatar, The Way of Water, James Cameron, Jaffin Silver are the other writers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, yes, eligible as
Rick Jaffa,
adapted.
Amanda Silver. Which is basically my Top Gun nomination, my equivalent of the Top Gun screenplay nomination.
Yeah,
I'll
which
argue
I
for in a
considered
second.
including Top Gun.
And then here's my real stretch. But I was like looking, and then I thought about it. I'm just going to say it, and then I'll justify it later. My fifth adapted screenplay nomination is See How They Run.
Interesting.
Wow, not a movie I've seen. I'm going to confess.
I've seen it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think I liked
You
it
saw
better
How They
than
Ran?
a lot of people. I did see How They Ran.
Now, let me just get into this quickly.
Go into it.
I don't even really like this movie.
I
that
didn't
much.
think you
weren't
did. I remember
passionate
you
about
talked
it.
about it negatively on the podcast.
Right, and I think a lot of it for me is in the direction and miscalibration of many of the performances. I think tonally it's off.
Sure.
But without spoiling the film for people,
Mm-hmm.
I do think it is a pretty ingenious act of adaptation.
Sure. The
Does
Agatha
it
Christie of it all.
change the book in some way?
Well,
or-
it's
okay.
basically a movie about the fact that no one can ever adapt the mousetrap.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the adaptation of.
Okay.
It is a
of-
murder mystery
Agatha
around the contract written for the mousetrap when it opened on the West End that
That's what it's about?
forbid it ever being made as a film until the show closed.
Which
and
it
because
still
it
has
is the
not.
longest running show.
Yeah.
And so the movie is this weird circular, it's almost like adaptation, where I'm like, I kind of don't like anything else in the movie, but the moment I realized that's what the script was doing, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if
It's not enough for me. It's not enough
Yeah.
about that for it to like
Look.
get to the level that I want it to get at.
in a better year for adapted,
hear
it
ya.
never would have made the cut. But
I
when I was
hear ya.
looking at the list of everything I saw, I was like, that's the one thing I give that movie is
Yeah.
it is a clever act of adaptation.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm happy they give it something. That's nice.
Yeah, whatever, it's fine. I don't care.
Oh, the Blankies.
Yeah.
They went number 5, White Noise, which I considered it's making an effort as an adaptation.
It is making an effort. It doesn't work for me, but I get it.
Number 4, After Yang.
Mhm.
Number 3, I'm seeing here Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Must be an error.
Error. Typo.
Robert Zemeckis, of course. Number 2, Top Gun Maverick.
Mhm.
and number one ever. Glass Onion.
Yeah.
My winner is Catherine Called Birdie, which I think is a wonderful adaptation.
Yeah.
Of a somewhat tricky, work.
Mhm.
I thought about 3,000 Years from Longing. Obviously, it's one of my favorites of the year, but
That's my winner.
yeah.
Mine is Women Talking. I liked those women when they were talking, and Sarah Polley wrote all those words out.
It's a
Well,
very
it's to
have them
written
talk.
movie in a good way.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Yeah.
It's also tough it's a tough, like the book is not a book that presents as a movie at all. Like
That's what I've
it's
heard.
a tough piece
Yeah.
of adaptation.
Yeah.
I
I just like the way that Sarah Polley considers her characters. I like the way that Sarah Polley sort of like, I don't know, like moves the story around and allows, obviously this whole concept is about having everybody sort of like be able to have their say.
But also, it's the movie it reminded me of so much while watching it was 12 Angry Men, which is similarly
Sure.
a movie that you look at on paper and go, "There's no reason to do this as a film.
Right. Why
this
would
works
this
as
be
a
on
book. You
screen?
do this on stage."
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things she does as a director to make that more cinematic, but I think there are a lot of things she does as a writer,
Yeah.
even just structurally,
Right.
that are really key to that movie working. Avatar, just the fucking bones on this thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, no, it's
people
similar
were
to Top Gun,
mocking
like
the
you said,
Top Gun
structure of it.
nomination,
Yeah.
but the year that Titanic didn't get the screenplay nomination, everyone loves to fucking throw. Well, the dialogue, no one liked it because of the screenplay, whatever the writing. People conflate like corny dialogue with meaning that the movie is poorly written, right? And William Goldman, the year of Titanic, was like, "That's the perfect screenplay." There was some interview where they were like, "What should win the screenplay? You're the best living screenwriter. You're the legend of Hollywood.
Yeah.
What should win?" And he's like, "Titanic not being nominated is absurd. That movie is perfectly structured.
Yeah.
It is perfectly engineered." And Avatar, similarly, I'm just like, nothing about that movie should work.
I agree. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And-
I feel weird about it being adapted, but that's my problem.
Whatever. Yeah.
Afternoon Yang is really good. This is another like that story. He's fleshing out that story in interesting ways. Like, Both Sides of the Blade is a really good movie.
I gotta
The
see it.
people
I
are
haven't
very
seen it
divided
yet.
on that
Haven't seen
movie.
it.
Yeah.
But I was at that point kind of like, what else counts as adapted? I was kind of casting.
I
do
was-
like that screenplay. a lot.
I had Ryan Johnson and Glass Onion sort of categorized in an original. Otherwise, it makes a lot of sense that I would have nominated and adapted. Because Bones and All was the one where I was like, I need a fifth. What am I going to do? And there were all those bones. The bones.
Yep.
Best actor.
Who wants to go first?
I
Joe,
can go
you wanna
first.
take this?
Yeah,
Go
why
on,
don't I take
Joe.
it? This is the only one where I've included Oscar nominees because I wanted to.
Yeah, you're allowed.
Colin Farrell, Oscar nominee. Banshees of Inisherin. Gabriel LaBelle in The Fabelmans.
Fabulous Gabe.
Jack Loudon in Benediction. Paul Mescal in After Sun. Mescal.
Mescal.
I believe it's Mescal.
All
A
right.
lovely nomination. Very
God,
happy for
I
him.
love him in that movie.
You know what makes me feel great? Him being 26.
I believe he's 27. Does that make you feel any better?
Barely.
And my fifth is Jeremy Pope in The Inspection.
Yeah, he was a late cut for me. It's
Yeah.
a good performance.
Incredibly good performance. My 5 nominations are my 5 nominees: Daniel Kaluuya in Nope, Idris Elba, 3,000 Years of Longing, Gabriel LaBelle, The Fabelmans,
Wow, Gaby.
Adam Sandler in Hustle.
He's hustling.
And I was flipping between a few, but I'm gonna do it. Nicolas Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
I gotta see that
A
movie.
performance that movie doesn't deserve.
Okay. Sometimes those
It's a little bit
those
like
are the
my
best
See How
ones.
They Run performance
Yeah.
nomination, where I'm
Yeah.
just like, I think that movie's kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Remember when he was in Pig?
God, he
I
was
mean,
good in
phenomenal.
Pig.
I think he was my winner that year. Maybe.
You might
Might have been
find
mine.
out.
Must have
Yeah,
been.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
I gotta see that movie. It's
I mean,
hot
you-
on TikTok right now. Did you know that?
Is it really?
Is it really?
Is
There's
it a
this-
Pedro Pascal thing?
No, it's this clip where like he's looking at Pedro Pascal and Pedro Pascal, they're driving and
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal's going like, that's become very
Pedro
popular.
Pascal is also great now.
He was your winner.
Yeah.
Cage.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Simon Rex was your winner.
Oh, right, of course.
And Hidetoshi Nishijima
Yeah.
was my winner. All right, my nominees this year: Idris Elba, 3,000 Years of Longing.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Jack Loudon, Benediction.
Nice.
Colin Farrell, Banshees. I had to.
Yeah,
give it to him.
yeah, of course.
John Hamm in Confess.
Wow.
Comma Fletch.
Wow.
And Jake Gyllenhaal in Ambulance.
Los Angeles.
I thought you were going to say Jake Sully in The Way of Water.
Performance as father. Nope.
Majik.
I don't know. Majik. Those are my nominees.
Okay.
I will say I didn't like Ambulance. We don't have to get into it. I did really like Jake Gyllenhaal though.
I'm mixed to positive on Ambulance, but I think Gyllenhaal is he's really just throwing his whole body at the problem.
He really
in that
is.
movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
he
love
is.
that performance.
Yeah.
What a weird career he has.
What a weird career. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But like, and it functions well in playing regular people sometimes. And like, he's not one of those people, like the only times he's ever good is when he's playing sort of the
In
most
psycho
off the wall
mode.
people.
No.
But like, he functions really well as a really weird off the wall, like Mr. Music in
Yes.
John Mulaney
Yes.
Netflix special kind of a level. Like,
Joe, who's your winner?
my winner is Jack Lowden in Benediction,
It's a great performance.
who is Griffin. If you haven't seen it,
I have not.
highly recommended.
Yeah.
Terrence Davies movie. He plays Siegfried Sassoon, who was a poet in the post World War I generation.
He's a World War I poet.
And is also gay and is also sort of like trying to navigate that sort of world. And half of the movie is about him trying to sort of conjure the way to respond to the horrors of this war and what it's doing to this entire generation of young men. And it's all, half of it is him dealing with like the incredibly bitchy social politics
Yes.
of being gay and creative in that period of time. And both halves of that are played so well by him. And he's just, he's on your list.
It's a hilariously bitchy movie, though.
It
For
really
a
is.
Terrence Davies movie,
You don't expect it to be so fun. It's
Yes.
a fun movie.
Now,
It really
can I
is.
push back for 1 second, even though I haven't seen the film?
Yeah.
He's dating Saoirse Ronan.
He
is he
is.
not? Doesn't he have enough? Do we have to give him a Blanky Award?
Wow.
Understandable.
He's having pasta
Do we
with her
have
every
to?
night.
I
Do
get
we
it.
have to?
I get it.
Some of us out here have
Making it. They can try all the shapes: linguine,
don't
farfalle.
fucking rub it in. Who's your winner, David?
Not Farfalle.
Idris Elba in
There you go.
3,000 Years of Longing. Maybe my favorite performance of the year, if it wasn't for one, lady composer. Who
I
really like.
think that's where I'm going as well.
Me and Allison Wilmore were like at the New York Film Critics Circle, like jumping off the cliff, being like Idris Elba. We were the only two.
I think I said this in our episode, but when I went to see that movie, I could not believe the second he pops out of that fucking bottle,
Yep.
he's filling up the entire room, and he
And
starts
you've been
talking.
told Idris Elba is a sexy genie.
Yes.
So you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
Yeah.
The second he started talking, I thought to myself, wow, I actually believe this guy is thousands of years old.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. 3.
Well, 3,000 years in the bottle, basically,
Well, that's
right?
true,
How old
so-
is he? Maybe it's 2004.
I don't actually know.
Yeah,
I don't know if he ever writes it down.
Yeah.
If he ever takes out a calculator.
I don't know.
Just like totally skips a year of counting
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, you found out it's one more year of longing than
He's
you thought you
rounding.
had.
I think there's a universe in which I would have given it to Kaluuya if I hadn't already given him.
You gave him
Just
an
a word
award
before.
for Get Out, as did I.
Yes.
But
It's just kind of he's for being so young, it is astonishing how like sharp Kaluuya's craft has become.
This
where
is
he's-
what I love about this year's crop of actors.
Yeah.
And I know it's not novel to like award, incredibly talented young actors,
Yeah.
but like generally the trend is you reward ingenues,
Yes.
actress, and then the sort of like more established actors. And like
Right.
the crop of great performances by young actors like Loudon, Mescal, Kaluuya, Jeremy Pope.
LaBelle.
It's just like this, like, can we
Spielberg-
talk about baby boy Gabriel
Spielberg
LaBelle
actually
for a
like-
second?
Love him.
successfully making a lead discovery for the first time in like 20
And
years.
forever. And like talk about like the
After a lot of
dauntingness
boring
of having
boys.
to play that role
Yes.
in this moment, in
Yes.
this film.
Yes.
And he fucking knocks it out of the
Fucking
park
nails
without
it.
doing an impersonation,
Nope.
without doing, anything that would make you feel like it's, some sort of like exercise that he's doing,
Yes.
whatever. He's incredibly natural. He's incredibly just naturally charismatic.
So funny while taking everything so seriously.
Yes. God, I adore him.
It's
Yeah.
a great performance.
Yeah.
And the sort of locker confrontation
Yeah.
is as good a clip as you're going to get.
Oh, sorry, David. Did you not appreciate the fact that when you take that scene completely out of context, that it's terrible, according to fucking social media? That
Oh, Lord.
God,
damn.
Burn it all to the ground.
the grand new tradition of we're just going to completely evaluate films based on out of context
Hey.
scenes like 2 hours into a movie.
You know
Love
what I
that.
like about movies?
Absolutely love
Do you know what I
that.
like about movies?
What?
how they create their own context.
True.
How very often
Gotta watch the
scenes
whole
are
thing.
Get
better.
the fuck
In
out of
order.
here.
Yes.
Griffin. Yeah.
Obviously, Colin, he's a multiple winner for me already, but I do love the 2 performances he gave this year. I have not seen the third last year. I have not seen 13
he's
live. So I
good.
gotta check it out. I
He's
know.
good in it, and
Yeah.
it's
believe it.
it's very faint praise to say it's the best Ron Howard movie in many years, but it's the best Ron
Yeah.
Howard movie in many years.
Somewhat famed praise. I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rush.
Rush was a
is
while ago.
old.
Rush was a decade ago.
I hate
no offense
time.
to Rush.
Yeah.
It's beautiful as
Yeah.
it was the day it was born, but it's still getting a little
Yeah.
old. John Hamm, look,
Sure.
it's a finesse performance in my opinion. That shit ain't easy. He makes
Yeah.
it look easy. That's the magic of it.
Yeah.
But I think that performance is so wonderful. And I'm so happy to have him in my life.
That's how I basically feel about the Cage performance, even though it's a much larger performance.
Yeah.
But like Pig was such a great return to form for him. And then this is allowing him to like have fun and go operatic again. But there's also the vulnerability of obviously him playing this version of himself that I think from the script standpoint, this movie has a very surface level interpretation of Nicolas Cage. I don't think they're doing him any favors.
Yeah.
And I think he is creating an entire person.
Well, the more true to life version is coming out in a few months, and it's when he plays Dracula in
Yes.
Renfield. That is
I hope that's
the
good.
unvarnished Nicolas. I
Which I
really
can't
hope
wait
it's
for.
good.
What's your winner?
My winner is Idris Elba.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. But Adam Sandler
Twin
and
powers
Hustle,
activate. Oh yeah. Well,
a movie I had just kind of missed when
Sure.
it came out, and then he gets the SAG nomination, and that felt like one of those classic SAG nominations
Sure.
where it's like they're early in the season, something that came out 6 months ago.
Everybody's
gets
already seen it.
nominated.
They all
Right,
got
because
the
they haven't
mailer
gotten around
first.
to the
Yeah.
later films.
Yeah.
The fact that
Right.
Netflix is by far the most consistent and aggressive mailer of DVD
Yes,
screeners will
yes.
never stop making
Exactly.
like,
And they were
funny.
able to send that DVD out
it's
in like
the weirdest
June.
thing. Yeah.
And then he was doing like every actor roundtable thing this year for award season. I was like,
Yeah.
so they're giving him a real campaign.
Yeah.
I obviously love The Sandman,
Sure.
but I finally watched this thing and was so taken by his performance.
It's a great.
I think he's given a number of great, sort of quote unquote legitimate acting
Sure.
performances in the last 15 years, but most of them are very conscious subversions of his movie star persona. Right? They're using the weird bubbling anger, the man-child quality, all of this. This just feels like suddenly out of nowhere he's giving like a James Caan performance, which he always talks about like that was his biggest influence
Right,
growing up.
like
he loved
The
watching
Gambler.
70s.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. This doesn't feel like he's using his Sandler persona at all.
I think he's really
he's
good.
just behaving.
I haven't seen it. I'm not the Sandman guy that you guys are.
I think this is the performance that would win you over.
I just recently learned the director of it, though, directed
the We the Animals.
We the Animals, which
Yes.
I loved.
Yes.
Raul Castillo speaking of
I
which.
think this movie is good.
Yeah.
It's a good
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And just
And his performance is
an
lovely.
easy watch. I've seen it twice.
Yeah, a really fun watch.
Joe, your winner was
Loudon. Was Jack Loudon.
Great winner.
Yeah.
Possibly the next James Bond. All right, let's do best actor. Oh,
But then he's got to give up one thing,
wow.
and I'll let him pick.
And you're like, and who knows who it could? Maybe it's Saoirse Ronan.
I don't know.
You should
Maybe
give her up.
maybe time to focus on your career. It seems to be working out well for you.
Our best actresses last year. Griffin, yours was Rebecca Hall. Mine was Renata Reinsve. Reinsve.
Yeah.
Yours was Jagna Doricic.
Oh, right.
From Quo Vadis Aida.
Quo Vadis Aida,
Wow.
which now is legitimately over 2 years old because that movie was already
It was already delayed.
a
yes.
holdover from a foreign language nomination. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Best Actress.
My best actresses.
Okay.
Kate Blanchett. Sorry, Lydia Tarr as Tar.
Sure.
in Tar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton in The Eternal Daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Tong Wei in Decision to Leave.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Beck Hall in Resurrections.
Mm-hmm.
Resurrection.
Yes.
And Park Ji-min in Return to Seoul. Those are my nominees.
My nominees for Best Actress are Tang Wei, Decision to Leave, Rebecca Hall, Resurrection, Frankie Coro, After Sun,
Nice.
Performance.
Lydia Tarr as Kate Blanchett, as Lydia Tarr in Tar.
Yeah.
And
What?
I had to do it.
What?
Leslie Manville, Mrs. Harris
Yeah,
goes to
she
pitch.
was actually a late miss for me.
She went
And
to
this is a
Paris.
stacked category.
Do you know that she fucking went to Paris?
I won't believe it.
How many of these other performers in this category
None of them. And
went
Wait,
to Paris?
Tar goes around.
Tar's around. I guess
I don't
she doesn't
think
go
she
to
ever
Paris.
sets foot
Maybe
in
not
Berlin.
Paris. Maybe not Paris. Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I mean, Park Ji-min, she goes to Seoul.
yeah.
She's
true.
from Paris. Well, she's from France.
We don't see her go to Paris in the movie, though.
Not that I can remember.
Mrs. Harris, we see her on a plane.
Yeah.
We see her at a train station.
She does it all.
She does it all.
No, I love her. I
she
love
goes to
Leslie
Paris.
Manville. I love that movie. Perfectly pleasant movie.
I mean, that was the most purely enjoyable experience I had watching a film in 2022. It made me so happy.
I lied when I said earlier that I only had one category with Oscar nominees. This one obviously
gonna
also
say,
does as
yeah.
well. In alphabetical order, Kate Blanchett in Tar, Rebecca Hall in Resurrection, Keke Palmer in Nope, Emma Thompson in Good Luck to You, Leo Grand,
course.
and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Also,
So we have
we have more crossover here.
two
we all
triple
have Rebecca
baggers,
Hall
and we all have Palmer across two categories.
Yes.
But we all have Kate.
And we all have Kate.
Yeah.
/ Lydia / Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are our winners?
Kate Blanchett. What do you want from me?
I think mine's Rebecca Hall.
Love them.
Yeah. I think I got to go Kate Blanchett.
It would be cool if you gave Rebecca Hall your Best Actress award 2 years in a row.
Ben and I go see
Rebecca Hall had to hand it to herself.
Ben
Well,
and
I
I go
guess-
see Resurrection. And halfway through the movie, when she delivers the monologue,
Yeah.
which if you've seen the movie, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a oneer. It is unbelievable.
It is.
I was just like,
the crux of
Jesus
the movie.
Christ,
There
am
are-
I going to give Rebecca Hall Best Actress 2 years in a row
And
for
it
like
makes it look
moody,
like the Night
grief-based?
House was like her
Yeah.
art house horror
warm up
films?
for this.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are
Yes.
two horror movies this year that one I think got a lot more credit than Resurrection did for an actress giving a monologue
Pearl.
that functions similar the same way.
Yes.
I think
And
one,
then the second horror film, of course, was Sadie Sink in the Oil.
but I think one vastly outclasses the other, and it annoys me that most people are just like, I have nothing.
What was
against
your
Mia
other
Goth.
actual one?
No, it was Resurrection.
No, but you said two had monologue that got more attention.
Yeah, it's Rebecca Hall and
Oh, you're saying
and
they
Pearl,
flipped
and I
each
think
other. Okay, yes.
Resurrection
Yes.
is such a better movie.
I
than Pearl.
agree. And I like
it
Pearl.
annoys me that
Yes.
like I don't know that became the
Look,
trendy
it's
one.
my new
You
favorite.
shouldn't like Pearl. She's a murderess.
Yeah, she's
No,
does
I think
bad
I think she
things.
has like a. I think her worldview makes sense, and I think.
Listen, I'm not going to stand
has
for
some good
Pearl getting
points.
canceled though.
No,
Like that's I'm
absolutely not.
against that.
But Rebecca Hall quietly deals with a very complicated form of grief. Is now my new favorite subgenre.
Yeah,
That movie's excellent, but her performance is like a miracle.
it's iconic Albany cinema, which not
Yeah,
everything
sure
is,
Nope.
and like that needs to be celebrated.
I love that
probably
movie
a
is
little bit more.
actually like shot in Albany,
One- oh,
set as
you
Albany,
know it.
Albany as Albany.
It's one of those things where I'm watching the movie and I have been in Albany, but it's
Yeah.
not like I've spent significant time in Albany.
Mhm.
But I'm watching this movie and I was like, is this set in Albany?
Yeah.
And it's like, why did I know that? Why is this movie like suffused with like Albany energy?
Yeah.
It's weird.
An argument for actually setting your movie in the place where you shoot it.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Tong Wei. At least two of us had Tong Wei.
Yeah. I had her.
She's a fireball in that film. I
she's very
love
good.
Tong Wei. Tilda Swinton, I gotta shout her out. The Eternal Daughter is an immaculate dual performance.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only person on screen for pretty much the entire movie.
Fantastic.
She's had a great year.
Yeah.
Because I love 3,000 Years of Longing. And I
uh-huh.
love that performance too.
Yeah.
Return to Seoul, I'm assuming, Griff, you have not seen yet,
I have not seen it.
but I think you'd love.
I
Yeah.
probably
would
will.
love.
I'm
Have you
excited.
seen?
Not yet, but I've heard so many good things about it.
Everyone should check it out. It's now in limited release, and I'm sure it'll be somewhat expanding and then, you know, available
Yeah.
the ways that things are available. It is one of those, like, it feels like someone just found a person and
Yeah.
built a movie around them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
extraordinary.
To that point,
It's just, yeah.
the Frankie Coiro performance in After Sun boggles my mind.
She's
great.
incredible.
She's really great.
I love her.
In my sort of spreadsheetiness, I do have a section for breakthrough performances, so that is
sure.
where I kind of like sort of siloed her. But yeah, she's great. She's tremendous.
I hope for good things. For
Me
her.
too.
I always
here's
feel
what I
so
hope.
complicated about
Never
young
acts
actors.
again, just has a good life.
Well, that could be true too.
Yeah,
but if she
sure.
does act, you
Sure.
know, and
Yes,
she's talented
yes.
and like that she wants to do that, that's fine. But
Crazy
like,
talented.
Yeah.
I am always just like Brooklyn Prince is another one where
Yeah.
I'm like happy to see her in movies because I'm just like seems
She
like
was
you're
just
doing
in
okay.
something, right?
She's in Cocaine
Oh,
Bear.
she's in. I'm going to be seeing
She's
her later
not
on
like
then.
fucking TikToking and releasing albums and stuff. Brooklyn Prince just feels like she's doing good work.
Yeah.
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 But it's always, you know, child acting is so complicated. Let me give you the Blankies
Uh huh.
Yes.
lead performers. There's 10. Tom Cruise and Top Gun Maverick. We love it. 9, Daniel Kaluuya.
Mhm.
8, Gaby LaBelle.
Mhm.
7, Austin Butler. A late cut for me, but he's everywhere.
A late cut
I
for me
like
too.
Austin
I love
Butler
that
and Elvis. I have
performance.
nothing
Like,
against that
we don't
performance.
need, he doesn't
Yeah,
need us.
he's all right. He's
But I do think that's an astonishing performance.
I do too. 6, Tong Wei.
Mhm.
5, Paul Mescal.
Mm.
4, Keke Palmer. 3, Colin Farrell. 2, Michelle Yeoh. 1, Lydia.
Lydia Tar.
Okay. We're done with that, right?
Yeah, best director.
Best director.
Yeah. So best director for me is always pretty similar to my picture nominees, but my nominees for best director are Todd Field for Tar,
Mhm.
Joanna Hogg for The Eternal Daughter, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, George Miller for 3,000 Years of Longing, and Robert Eggers for The Northman.
My best director nominees are Stevie Spielberg, Little Stevie,
Steven Q. Spielberg. The Q stands for quality.
Charlotte Wells, S.S. Rajamouli,
Nice.
Jordan Peele,
Nice.
and Todd Field.
Very good.
And what did S.S. Rajamouli make? Women Talking?
Yep.
Yes.
So
Just
much.
trying to
You
think of the
wouldn't
most
think so,
muted
but
film.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine are, sorry, I'm going in alphabetical by film, as is tradition. Charlotte Wells for After Sun, Terrence Davies for Benediction,
Mhm.
the Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Those boys.
Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, and Jordan Peele for Nope.
Wow. And the Blankies had Park Chan-wook for Decision to Leave, Jordan Peele, Daniels, Steven Spielberg, and number 1, Todd Field. Tar really crushed.
Field,
With
my
as it is
close
with me.
6th for mine. Nothing against Todd Field for Tar.
You don't like his hat, admit it.
Well, sure. There's a lot of hat stuff going on in my life. I just watched the Traders reunion, and the worst of the non celebrities in the Traders wore a big dumb hat.
Did you see Michelle Williams' big hat?
Wait, in what context?
It looked like the tortilla, the salsa hat from
that
The
Homer
Simpsons.
eats? Yes.
Yeah.
They did a Fabelmans shoot with the whole cast, and Michelle Williams is wearing, I kid you not, a 100-gallon hat. It is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it's even funnier because obviously it's not being remarked on and has nothing to do with anything. The thing about Michelle Williams is I love that performance in The Fabelmans.
Mhm.
She's in, the new Kelly Reichardt film, which is coming out in a
I
couple
can't
months,
wait to
called
see
Showing
Cannot
Up.
wait to see.
And it's one of those things where you're like, if you dare think Michelle Williams is kind of like phoning in some big performance in The Fabelmans, because it's such a big mannered, effective.
It's very
performance.
mannered, yeah.
And then you watch her in that movie where she's basically just a tired person who would love to take a shower
Yeah.
and barely talks above a mumble.
Yeah.
It's like she is making very, very conscious choices.
Look,
anytime she gives a performance.
I like that performance a lot. It didn't make the cut for me just because I had a lot of other
Yeah,
contenders.
Yeah.
But
Me
the
neither.
notion that it's like this is this absurd, like high school theater, totally out of whack performance. Every single person you talk to who ever
Met her.
encountered
Yeah.
the real woman
Yes.
is like she is underplaying her.
This is like how when Natalie Portman was in Jackie and everybody's like, that's an insane way of
Right.
speaking. What are you doing? Are you any good at acting? And
Yeah.
then you watch one clip of Jacqueline Kennedy and it's
You
like,
ever seen
oh,
Jackie?
exactly.
And when
that.
you look at the 2 times that Steven Spielberg won his directing Oscars,
Yeah.
and his mother is in the audience, and they cut to her, MOS,
Yeah.
the physicality.
Yeah. She was a big personality.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
it's
Yeah.
yes. That is a very carefully honed performance.
Imagine if you were that like indulgent sort of flowy mother and then your son became Steven Spielberg. I would also dine out on that
You
for
were
the
like,
rest of my
fucking
damn life.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. The Blanky winner is Todd Field. I said that. My winner is also Todd Field.
Okay.
That's my favorite movie of the year.
Okay.
Who's your winner?
My
You jerk.
winner is, I think it's S.S. Rajamouli.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
fine. That's
we haven't
great.
talked about RRR. Talk about
I
RRR.
tend to go for most directed in director.
Sure.
I like to split whenever possible
Sure.
just to share the wealth. I have the opposite.
Yeah, you're different
strategy
from
of
me.
you.
Yeah.
But that movie is just like I saw it with my friends, and in March or April, pretty early into its run, when
Yeah.
it was like it had done the one weekend. It
Yeah.
had, it was like, oh, people are saying this thing's
That was
insane.
one where like that word of mouth really built over
Yes.
the course of like several months.
So I saw it basically ice cold, other than you need to see this fucking thing.
yeah.
And you watch that, and it just makes every single American blockbuster feel pathetic.
Well, certainly makes every single American blockbuster feel low energy compared to, you know
Low
what I mean?
energy, but also just the ambition of
Yeah.
that movie, the technical precision. I mean, there are all these things about, obviously, he had like 300 days to shoot that film.
Yeah.
That industry is set up very differently than ours is.
Sure.
They give people the time and space to get things right.
Yeah.
You know, he's basically given like a Kubrick-esque birth to make the ultimate action epic. But I just think that film somehow like is able to be this kind of full course meal that touches upon every different genre, that gives you every different thing you could want out of a movie in a way that feels earned.
Yeah.
And just on a technical level, like Mad Max Fury Road is the only film that basically comes close to that, where you're just like, every single sequence they are creating new ideas that I have not seen in an action film before.
Yeah.
And somehow continually topping itself in a movie that only exists on a spectrum of extremism.
Right.
Yeah.
I run out of gas with that movie a little bit, but when it's sort of, especially in those early stages, when it's just sort of like that eye-popping sort of, even because like this is one of those movies where like the action is big and bombastic and whatever, but also just like the handshakes in that movie are big and bombastic. You know what I mean? It's just like everything is
That's see,
at a
I
level.
don't run out of juice, and that's why he's the winner for me, because
Sure.
the fact that he keeps that plate spinning for 3 hours amazes me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I understand.
It was a little bit of like one of those, was just like I'm maybe tapping out, maybe with some time left on the clock.
Yeah.
With that one. My winner is Jordan Peele and Nope, a movie we all seem to really love, and I'm glad. The movie getting 0 Oscar nominations is dumb. That is not the be all and end all, but I'm just saying, like, that is.
I never had any faith in it getting any Oscar
I kind of
nominations.
didn't
It's too
either.
odd a film for them.
Yeah.
Especially given that he's an Oscar winner.
It's
so,
sort
like,
of a
he
neither
comes with
fish
hype.
nor fowl kind of a movie for them, especially it is in the skin of a big crowd pleasing blockbuster, but it is also much more cerebral.
It's one of
than
those
that.
weird films that was like a hit and a disappointment at the same time.
Yes.
It's one of those. Yeah, that's true. Right. It did well, but everyone was sort of like, should it have done better? Blah, blah, blah. And if original screenplay wasn't stacked this year, I could have seen it slipping in. I could have seen After Sun slipping in. Like those are movies.
Cinematography is the one I'm surprised
that's
it didn't
fucked
get,
up,
just
right,
because
'cause
they'll
it's
tend
amazing.
to go
Cinematography was
off
a weird
the
category this year.
expectations.
Hey, fucking Top Gun didn't get nominated.
I was gonna say the fact that Top Gun got a
bullshit.
screenplay nomination and not a cinematography nomination,
They
it will
put
never not
cameras
be
on
very
jet
weird.
planes.
In, on, underneath, above, around.
Nominated a fucking Western Front.
Oh.
I know that was dumb.
All garbage.
Bardo got the weird nomination, but Bardo was Darius Kanji, and that was really cool. And
But that's
that
the
movie looks
exact
dynamite too.
type
I
of
really like
nomination
that.
I thought Nope was going to get, where that branch just goes like, well, obviously.
But remember when cinematography for a while there was getting real weird, and they would nominate stuff like The Black Dahlia or
yes, this is what I'm saying.
even like Passion of the Christ, which is not a movie that I like, but like what, like good, like love a swing.
The D.
And they've gotten a lot. All of the crafts categories have gotten a lot narrower, I think, in the last 10 years, which is a little bit of a bummer. Which is why I appreciate even Empire of Light, a movie I didn't like, but like step out of the top 10 for a while. Like that's nice.
Yeah, I mean that movie looks good. That just kind of felt like the kind of Roger Deakins is in this John Williams
100%.
territory now. What did
100%.
you do this year?
Automatic.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But also a guy who doesn't work that much anymore. This was his first movie since Blade Runner.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What about 1917? Or is that
I'm sorry, since 1917.
Yeah.
Empire of Shite.
Haven't seen it.
Look, what's the Putters and Murmurs this year, guys?
All right. Let's quit fooling around.
Guys.
Let's get into what
Come
matters.
on.
Wait, I think we all are unified on this one. I'd have to imagine.
Oh,
wait.
go ahead.
I have thoughts, but I tend to approach this from a holistic perspective.
I think there is an actor who has been puttering and murmuring up a storm.
Griffin, this is exactly my
consistently
angle.
for the last decade.
This is
Oh,
my
he's sort
angle.
of a body of work award
well,
here.
and
I
look,
can't believe we've come at this from the exact same
we've
angle.
recognized this actor in other categories
have.
before.
Yes.
But weirdly has been ignored in Putters and Murmurs, and this year it felt like
I will, and I have my theories on this, but I'll let you
much
finish.
like Quint in Jaws,
Yeah.
screeching the nails against the chalkboard, going, attention must be paid. I'm going to putter and murmur so fucking hard. I dare you to not give me the trophy.
I can't believe we have the exact same rationale. That's really funny to me.
Mark Rylance is Sully in Bones and All.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the career, it's the Pacino in Scent
Yes.
of a Woman.
Right.
if also Pacino in Scent of a Woman was his best performance ever. You know what I mean? Like, this is the putteriest and
Yes.
murmuriest
Yes, he's doing
that
all-
Rylance has ever been.
I do want to point out that he apparently won our Grumbles and Mumbles award last year.
Of
for
course
Don't
he
Look
did.
Up.
For
But that
Don't-
hurt him even more. I think that made him angrier. Where he's like, I'm so close to it.
Well, and like his Oscar-winning actual performance is also very puttery
It's
and
murmured
murmury.
for a guy who's
But that was the
acting-
year that you invented the category.
Of course.
So like he couldn't get it then.
No, and I was giving Ian McKellen a consolation prize, but
Right.
then in some eyes that became the bigger
It's the
trophy
top
to
prize.
get.
Yeah.
It's the top prize.
It's now become our Palme d'Or.
It's the last 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
in so many
Who
ways.
will putter on stage?
Yeah, but I do think it's funny because Rylance, like on stage, is known for this guy can do anything,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And then he finally has his like breakthrough in film with Bridge of Spies, and basically reinvents himself as our preeminent putterer and murmurer, and has pretty much stuck to that lane, but has been really testing the boundaries
Yeah.
of what you can do in that field. And
He's
this is
an
the year
innovator.
where he
He's
was like,
as very
rat
much as
tail,
James-
weird sexual stuff.
James-
Give me the award.
James Cameron is doing things with a camera that
Yes.
is breaking the boundaries and
Yes.
whatever. And Rylance is doing the exact same thing in the field of puttering and murmuring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I had some runners up.
Okay.
Wait, David, speak on Rylance. We haven't heard you speak on this.
I don't like that performance at all.
Well, sure, but it's a lot of puttering and murmuring.
but he's
my
not
friend.
what we're asking.
I understand. He's puttering
That's
up a
not
storm.
what we're asking.
Oh, it's a borderline embarrassing performance,
Yes.
but it's a
I
lot
don't
of
like
puttering
that
and
either.
murmuring.
If we didn't give it to him, then he'd be like, why did I even make these choices?
Right, exactly. Well,
He gave that performance just for
it's
us.
Blankies bait of the
Yes.
most like
Putter and
crass
murmur.
variety kind
Yes,
of, where he's
right.
just like, what do I got to do,
Right,
guys, to
right,
win a putters and
Right.
murmurs?
It's the equivalent of playing Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
No, some others. Viggo Mortensen in Crimes of the Future, who was the last minute cut. From
Oh,
the next.
yeah.
Same for me.
He is
Yeah.
puttering the fuck out of that one.
Yeah.
That's also kind of like a
Grumbles and
wincing,
mumbles. Yeah, wincing. He's wincing the hell out.
Sure,
of it. Ooh.
sure.
wincing and wincing and convulsing. What's it? Contorting?
Contorting.
He does
yes.
contort.
Yes, he
Yes.
does.
Where do we fall on Tom Hanks and Elvis?
Well, that's the Watto.
He
Award.
putter. Yeah, he's Watto.
Yeah,
Watto
it's
award.
not because it's not a lot of murmuring because he has
No.
he sort of proclaims
Yeah.
he's
The key to a putter and murmur performance is this character actually speaking to the other characters in the film?
right.
And also, am I supposed to be able to hear and understand what they're saying?
I have a couple. I had one that was a putterer but not a murmurer,
Yes.
who was Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans.
Oh, sure.
Who putters but like does not murmur,
Right.
like comes in like a voice from the
Right,
heavens
he's
in that
yelling.
movie.
He's yelling.
Colonel
And-
Tom, it's grand proclamations.
But,
Same
you
with,
know,
same
He
with
does have
Hirsch.
these. He's what? You know, he does have these
The
moments.
snowman.
And then
He putters and murmurs around the hospital.
What? Oh, weird. Yes, that's the thing. He sort of leads off
Yeah.
with puttering.
He's got a putters
Yeah.
and murmurs scene, but it would
Yeah.
sort of be category fraud
Now-
to
It
give
would be
it
a
for the
little
whole
bit, yeah.
performance.
Here's my winner.
Yeah.
It's Mark Rylance for the outfit.
Cool.
That's
the
right.
Outfit, a good movie. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that movie.
Outfit is good.
I
but
enjoyed it.
That's a movie where like his puttering and murmuring is like his weird trick.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Where all these gangsters
Yes.
keep showing up being like, who could have betrayed?
Certainly not this guy who only
I
putters
don't know
and
who
murmurs.
it is.
Yeah.
And Mark Rylance says, oh, maybe it was this guy. And they're like, yeah, that's right. It must have been that guy and not you.
Where's your Wampus first picture?
I will say an actor who had a really good
Who
year
was
this
it, Joey
year.
the Loyal? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I saw him the other day. You saw Joey? Oh, I'm going to go kill him right now without asking any further questions.
Remember when the National Board of Review used to give one supporting award for like 5 performances you did this year or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Simon Russell Beale is sort of like that for me this year, where he's so good in Benediction, but he shows up in The Outfit
Love him in
as
the
a
outfit.
gangster. And my brain flew out of my head at that point at the possibility that Simon Russell Beale is going to show up as a Chicagoland gangster or whatever. It's tremendously fun. I really enjoyed that. I have a murmur but not a putterer,
Go ahead.
which is both Jenny Slate, Isabella Rossellini, and Marcel Lachelle with shoes on.
No, that is for sure.
Because they do not.
Michelle's putter.
Well, but they also
That
like
kinda-
jump from like
they do
table to
jump
table. You know what I
once in
mean?
a
Like
while,
they're
that's true.
moving. They're getting around, man. I had a runner-up, which was Rory Kinnear in Men sometimes. In
Yeah.
certain
Yeah, he's got a
guises.
couple putterers.
He's
in
got a
there.
couple putterers
I
and murmurers
honestly
in
thought
there.
about having him on my acting ballot. It's such a strange movie to evaluate.
It is.
It's a most performance thing.
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm a traditionalist here, though, where I think if you're going to win putters and murmurs, it has to be putters and murmurs from top to bottom.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
I
That's why
think you
he's
have
only
to
a
live
runner-up.
it.
Same. I also have a runner-up, which was everybody who lived in that one apartment in Funny Pages.
Yep,
Oh,
great
yeah.
call.
Oh, that's
Great
true.
call.
That's the putter
That's like the
apartment.
house of putters and murmurs, kind of. You
Yes.
walk in and it's just that's the aesthetic.
An
It's all
incredible
over that
sequence.
place.
Okay, but I'm trying to think what else we had last year. Best Supporting Dick was apparently a category we got. Who had the Best Supporting Dick this year, though?
This year?
Kind of light on dicks this year?
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing like in the Griffin Newman honorary best voice performance in a movie this year.
Yeah.
Present company excluded because I
love
couldn't
a
show
voice
favorite.
No, of course,
performance.
of course. Yes.
But
Just
are we
both.
counting? We're not counting Avatar's actors there,
No.
I'm assuming. 'cause
No, those are acting performances.
full
Yeah.
body performances. But who's a good voice for you?
I mean, I
this
just
year?
mentioned Isabella Rossellini and Marcel Michel.
she is great.
Tremendous. I think doing double duty again this year, Angela Bassett in both Wendell and Wild and narrating Goodnight Oppie, which I know is not a
That's a-
movie everybody
yeah,
loved, but like
yeah.
I love her voiceover in that. I think it's that's the job, but for narrating
Yeah.
documentaries about the space program.
Look, I was colder on the movie than most in that I didn't think it was the single best film of the decade. But Banderas is kind of incredible in Puss in Boots.
I was just
Yeah,
about to bring up
I
Puss in
could
Boots.
see
I
that.
also
That guy's voice is just
Yeah.
such an instrument.
Well, him and Hayek and Harvey Guillen as like
Yes.
the center of that movie, I
Yeah.
think work really well.
But I don't understand how much emotion Banderas is able to wring out of
Sure.
every syllable in his
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
There's,
very good.
Yeah, my animated film this year is kind of Mad God.
Matt
I
Guy
gotta
love
see that.
yeah,
I
a
gotta
lot
see
of
Mad
animated
God.
movies this year. Like I really like Turning Red. I really like Wendell and Wild.
Yeah.
But Mad God's just sort
Mad
of like one of
God's-
those like you should be blessed that you got this.
That's
this
my
year.
favorite animated film of the year. Wendell and Wild and that were probably my 11 and 12 for the year as it shook out right now. But Mad God's also just like it almost feels unfair to judge it against narrative films.
Yeah.
I do think it's like the best object I saw this year.
Yeah.
I don't say that in any backhanded
No,
sort of
I gotta
condescending
see it.
way.
I've heard some very exciting
It's
things about
just
it.
sort of like a towering achievement.
I put together some score nominations because every year I feel like
Please.
I'm caught
I had
flat
score
for the score.
nominations,
The thing
yeah.
about with me and score is I tend to not appreciate a score until like several years later when I'll like see it almost in other or hear it in
Yeah.
other context. Obviously, I'm a Babylon person. I'm a Babylon positivist,
Same.
and that score is maybe the best thing about that movie.
Yep.
Justin Hurwitz's score, I really loved that.
Yeah.
The After Yang score, Asuka Matsumiya, is a really good score.
I interviewed her
Really?
for the liner notes of that movie.
You wrote the
She
liner
was
notes,
lovely.
or you
Oh,
interviewed the
fantastic.
liner notes for the Mondo release.
Yes,
the final
I interviewed
release.
those liner
Yeah.
notes that I wrote.
Yeah.
I like the Cliff Martinez score in Kimmy.
I mean, I love him.
I also so in the category of like terrible movie, but I'm eager to listen to the score divorced from the movie is the Nick Cave Warren Ellis score for Blonde.
Oh, interesting.
Which-
Oh, I should
Yeah.
check that score out because I do like their work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
generally.
And it's like I don't even know if it's used necessarily well in Blonde because sometimes it's like it's a little bit overbearing, but like
Yeah.
I was kind of happy for the distraction from what else was going on in Blonde.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really, really good score. And I know we've talked about we disagree on She Said, but I think the Nicholas Bertel score in She Said
And
is also
Bertel's
very good.
great, and we don't get enough work from him.
I love Bertel.
Yeah.
I think the Carter Burwell Englishman score
Yes.
is really good.
Yeah.
He got nominated, right? I'd love to see him
He
win
did.
an Oscar.
He has not been nominated as often as you would
No.
think
Yeah,
for somebody
exactly.
who he's one of those guys.
I didn't even like look back through my list of films.
Yeah.
I put down best score, and then I went, what are the 5 scores I remember most distinctly without sort of reviewing anything?
Yeah.
yeah.
And the 5 that jumped out to me that I've gone back to and that I remember really being instrumental to the success of the movie themselves,
Yeah.
itself, whatever. The Inspection,
Oh, interesting.
Animal Collective did the score for
Nice.
it. It's
Fuck.
incredibly good.
Wow.
Nope.
Nope has a great score.
Yeah, it does.
He
Yep.
always does great scores with
Yes.
With Peel. His name's what
Yes.
the fuck is his name?
Michael
Abels.
Abels.
But especially the last like 15 minutes of that movie is almost it functions like an opera.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the score just builds and builds and builds and builds.
Mhm.
Babylon, Hurwitz, incredible work.
Yeah.
Hustle, which I think Dan Deacon did the score for.
Ooh, I should check that score out. That's
has-
I always need new scores to listen
Has
to.
become a big walk around pump up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got
All
some
right.
really good. It's hard to reinvent the wheel on
Sure.
the emotional training. We're getting slowly better.
Yeah.
montage.
Yeah.
But it's got some great ones. And then RRR.
RRR's got great music.
Yeah.
Has no one mentioned the Batman?
No,
It was
yeah.
like my number
Huge
6.
earworm for me.
I tend to
Yeah.
the best parts of that score are the very Nirvana-y parts, and so I
Yes.
sort of don't know how to
That's my
separate that a little bit,
kind of
separate the egg from the
But I
yolk
do
a little
think
bit.
it's incredible, and I listen to it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the After Yang score. I have to give it to Babylon.
Yeah.
I love that score so much.
Well-
Yeah. Let me give you some Blanky Award winners.
Okay.
Oh,
For
sure.
score, they had Tar and Fablemans in 5th.
Yeah.
I guess that tied. RRR, Nope, Batman, Babylon. For cinematography, they had Fablemans, which is beautifully shot.
Yep.
Ganush the King. Decision to Leave, Tar, Top Gun, Nope. And for ensemble, which is a category we don't really do,
No.
kind of an annoying category in my opinion.
I do ensemble. I like
Well,
ensemble.
fair enough.
I prefer. Yeah.
Nope, Glass Onion, Inisherin, Fablemans, Everything Everywhere is their winner. Now, Best Picture.
Yeah.
Do you want to go 10-1 or 1-10?
Oh, I forgot. I have one other award.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Best movie about a whale-like creature who is befriended by a lonely, emotionally confused teenager who form an unlikely bond as the teenager reaches out to someone who has outcast themselves from society.
One of those clever letterbox
out of
lists.
shame
Yes.
in the wake of the loss of a loved one.
Wow.
Is obviously Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yeah.
The whale can go fuck itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foreign film of the year for me, Return to Soul Marina, Decision to Leave are all up there. EO,
That's my
I
weakest
love, Hit
category
the
this
Road.
year.
I probably give that to Santomare. Just
Weakest
because
category in that
Santomare's very
it's my
good.
biggest blind
Yeah.
spots. I've been bad in keeping up with, especially the late breaking end of year ones.
Sure.
I've called out in other episodes, but I do want to say, Clay Dream.
Yeah.
The Will Vinton documentary truly might be the best documentary
Okay.
of last year. But All the
Sure.
Beauty and the Bloodshed is obviously
That's a
also
great doc. Great
incredible. Yeah.
It's a good year for docs, in my opinion.
Good night,
I like
Opie.
the Oscar
Opie.
nominees.
That reminds me. We have the audio file. We have to remember to queue up. Do you have it, Ben? Okay, perfect. Great. Okay, good.
I
Little
don't-
tease for what's coming
I
at the
don't know
end
what
of
that
this
is,
episode.
All right.
okay.
Back to the Blankies after these messages.
All right, look, the year's already going by pretty fast, guys. We're business owners. We're always shipping stuff. We've got our merch. You can check it all out over at blankcheckpod.com, our Shopify page and all that. But, because of, merch sales and running the business, you got to plan early to make the most of your time. Don't wait any longer to level up your small business, guys. Set your year up for success. Get ahead of the competition by using Stamps.com to mail and ship. Stamps.com lets you print your own postage and shipping labels right from your home or office. It's ready to go in minutes, so you can get back to running your business sooner, okay? Postage rates just elevated again, but Stamps.com has the best discounts in the industry. They have rates that you cannot find anywhere else, up to 84% off USPS and UPS. Plus, Stamps.com automatically tells you your cheapest and fastest shipping options. For 25 years, they've been indispensable for over 1 million businesses. You can get access to USPS and UPS shipping services you need to run your business right from your computer, anytime, day or night. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. And if you sell products online like we do, they seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart. So, it's really, really, really easy. All you need is a computer and a printer. They send you a free scale. You have everything you need to get started. And if you need a package pickup, you can schedule it through your Stamps.com dashboard. Set your business up for success when you get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code CHECK for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale. There's no long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click the microphone at the top of the page, and enter code CHECK. That's it. Stamps.com, code CHECK.
Best Picture.
Do you want to go 10-1 or 1-10?
Let's do 10-1.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
This feels like a 10-1.
I'll
for
go
me.
first. Number
This
10.
Chevy. This feels like a 10-1.
Number 10, Top Gun Maverick. Number 9, Nope.
Mm.
Number 8, After Yang. Number 7, haven't really talked about it, but we're all going to the World's Fair.
Good movie.
Yeah,
Favorite
good
movies
movie.
of the year.
Good movie.
Number 6, Armageddon Time.
Mm.
Just we're all going to World's Fair. It's just tough to get into category.
No,
and a
yeah.
Cobb is really good.
Yeah.
Number 5, The Northman. Number
Mhm.
4, 3,000 Years of Longing. Number 3, The Fablemans. Number 2, The Eternal Daughter.
I'm glad to
The
see
best.
the Northman show up. The,
Love the fucking.
you know,
Northman.
I'm running this fantasy league for Vulture, right? I'm
Yeah.
that for the awards season, and so because I have access to the spreadsheet with all of the scores, I can see it's a nice little like numerical thing of like who's
You're the
doing better.
spread master now.
And the Northman has a big old goose egg when it comes to anything across any precursor or what. It's like one
Yeah.
of the few movies that really truly got 0.
Yeah.
And it's so surprising to me because it has so many fantastic
It's a beautiful
technical
movie.
Yeah.
elements, and
Yeah.
it's so surprising. What a good movie.
Number 1 for me is Tar.
Okay.
Griffin, go ahead.
Number 10 for me, Babylon.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Very
Yeah,
good
love
movie.
Babylon.
I love
You know what I
Babylon.
don't give a shit about?
Shit in that movie?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Subtlety.
Yeah.
What's next?
Any of these movies where people go like, I get it, I
Here's
saw
the-
it before in this. I'm like, I don't know. The world is stupid. None of this makes sense. I
Even
don't
What's
care.
number
I don't need to be
9?
smarter
Okay.
than the movie.
Cutting this rant off. What's number 9?
Keep it in and triple it, Ben. Subtlety. Subtlety. Number 9, 3,000 Years of Longing. Number
Yeah.
8, Funny Pages. Number 7, Avatar, The Way of Water.
My number 11. It's right on the cusp. for me.
Number 6, Armageddon Time. Same position as you.
Hell yeah.
Number 5, RRR. Number 4, Tar Tar Tar. Number 3, After Sun. Number
Sure.
2, Nope. Number 1, The Fablemans.
TF.
Yeah.
Which you sort of said when we on our episode. I feel like you were
Yeah.
like, "That's my thing this year."
I love the Fablemans. I love how much you love the Fablemans
Yeah.
maybe just as much. It's really good.
Look, I will say this. Fablemans did diminish a little for me on
Yeah.
second viewing.
Yeah.
And Nope did grow for me on second viewing.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if, as is sometimes the case, in
Yeah.
3 years, I'll be like, Nope is the one that actually has
Sure.
stuck to me more from that
Sure.
year.
I will also say,
Yeah.
pursuant to your list, tar 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 is the dish of raw beef that they served at the premiere for Todd Field's new
Is
movie.
that true?
It should have been.
Okay.
It
Well, I'm
should have
giving you
been.
100 comedy points.
Okay. All right. Should I do mine?
Yeah.
All right. Number 10, Navalny.
Mm.
A movie I might not have seen if not having to watch all of the Oscar nominations, but I was really surprised how much I loved it. Babylon is my number 9.
Cool.
My number 8 is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. My number 7 is The Banshees of Inisherin. 6 is The Fablemans. 5 is Tar.
Mhm.
4 is Nope. 3 is Benediction. Number 2 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. And my number 1 movie of the year is After Sun.
Wow.
The Blankies. I forgot about them.
Yeah.
Sorry. Let me
Never
get
forget
them.
about the blank.
I know. I shouldn't.
While you're pulling that up, can I
do
just
that.
quickly give out? I know we don't usually do this because we try to make this a positive
Yeah.
show, a celebration of what we love.
Yeah.
Fight for what we love rather than, killing what we hate or whatever.
Whatever the fuck.
I do want to give out an award for worst movie of the year, though.
Okay.
Seemingly the remake of The Core that is happening next door to our building, where they keep on fucking drilling into the
Tucci!
center
No,
of the earth.
did you see that news story though, where like they found a new inner layer to the core of the
Yeah,
earth?
they're
yeah,
trying to get
guess
it.
where they
Yeah,
found it.
If that doesn't
Don't
right
say
next
that,
door to
Sarah.
Blank Check headquarters.
But if that's not a recipe for getting a second, the core part 2,
Look,
nothing is.
The Core
I,
is
I
so
think someone
fucking
wants
good.
to
It's so
weigh in
good.
on that, but before he does
Yes.
and weighs in general,
Yeah.
I'll give you the Blankies top 10. Number 10, Tar.
Someone has been having a Tar-esque spiral while we're at this court.
Number 10, RRR. Number 9, Decision to Leave. Number 8, After Sun. Number 7, Avatar: The Way of Water. Number 6, Top Gun: Maverick. Number 5, Nope. 4, Inisherin. 3, Everything Everywhere. 2, Fablemans. 1, Tar.
Yeah.
That is the Blankies choices.
Yeah.
Boom.
Look, it feels like there was a lot of consensus this year.
I think there were a lot of really good movies this year.
Yeah, but I also just think a state of film as it is. You have fewer and fewer things that cut through.
We disagree
fewer
on
and
some
fewer
fundamental things. I
Of
just
course.
didn't really bring them up very much this time around.
Look,
But yeah,
we all have our disagreements.
yeah, we like we like different things. It's fine. This is how it goes.
We agree with
Yeah, Babylon.
Babylon. Innocent.
Babylon's a good fucking movie. Here's
Babylon
the thing about
Innocent.
Babylon.
You know what's
Even-
good about it? All of it, pretty
Even
much.
even the stuff where I'm watching it, I'm just like, I could do without this. But like, the highs in that movie are so
Yeah.
fucking high. Those 2 scenes of them filming scenes in the first 45 minutes of that movie are the best sequences in anything I
Look,
saw this year. Like, it's
Speaks
so
to
good.
dearth of studio comedies being released
Yeah.
theatrically, but for our friends at Film Spotting, I had to pick the funniest scene of the year for the year-end wrap-up, and
The
that first
studio-
day of sound
Yeah,
sequence
yeah. It's
in Babylon
tremendous.
is just like the best extended comedic set piece I
Yeah.
have seen in so long.
Yeah, it's great.
I think the ending is good. I don't care if you've seen it done better in other movies.
Sure.
And I think he's actually using all of that to say something very different than those other movies.
Yeah.
Anyone's like, I like the better when it was called The Sound of Fucking Singing in the Rain. Yeah, of course. I like the Singing in the Rain movie more.
You
than
like it
Babylon.
because
Singing in
the
the Rain
last
movie?
clip
Yes.
that they show is Sully landing the plane in Sully,
Yeah.
though. And like that's a little bit of a,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of a twist in the arm, but whatever.
Yeah, it's also the second best use of Jake Sully in a film of 2022. Our number one movie star.
God, I was sitting on the fact that that Avatar is in Babylon for so long. I really wanted to tell people.
Oh, you
Such
must
a
have
weird
been
thing.
fucking
I was
going
Losing
crazy.
your mind.
All right, look, I think I got to swing this microphone over to somebody.
All
Yeah.
right.
Ben,
All right, I'm back.
Ben Hosley, who had spent the
All right.
last hour stomping around our studio, turning into a giant red panda,
Yeah.
has now returned to normal form.
We're
So
sorry
mad.
about the banging, whatever
Yeah.
extent of it was on the episode.
Yep. It's nothing
This is a
we can do.
bad situation that is completely outside of our control.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, unfortunately, sometimes when it comes to Satan,
Sure. Yes.
he just never rests.
Yeah.
No.
And so,
Ben, do you have any categories you want to read off for us?
yeah, I have some original categories.
Of
All
course.
right.
Um,
I'm so ready.
so last year was kind of contentious because
Yeah.
I had gotten rid of apparently a fan favorite category. So I'm going to start right there.
Mm.
Okay. This is sort of an absurdist take, right, on a category where
Okay.
it's films that should be remade
Yes.
with.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So top of the list, we have Babylon.
Mhm.
Sure.
It should be remade with babies. Babylon. It's right in the
was right there.
title.
It was right there.
Right.
It might
right.
be a little inappropriate.
I was gonna say they do
Yeah,
get
maybe-
up
I
to
didn't
some.
Maybe an
See it?
abridged version of Babylon
yeah,
with babies.
a cute nursery version.
Sure.
An abridged version of Babylon, so it's like 4 minutes.
Yes, I was going to say like a minute and a half. Yeah, yeah.
Just some babies in old timey outfits.
That version might even have more pee and poop in
That's
it.
true.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then we have EO. Right,
Sure.
I feel like
It's a film
more
about
animals,
donkeys. Okay.
Yeah.
more donkeys.
So take more donkeys.
no
humans
No
whatsoever.
humans, all donkeys.
All
Mhm.
donkeys.
So
Yeah.
Isabelle Huppert, but played by a donkey, like Isabelle Huppert's character. She's a
Yeah,
donkey.
but you could put clothes on the donkeys that are supposed to.
Oh,
be
sure, of
humans.
course.
And
course.
should
Yeah.
Isabelle Huppert in Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris also be played by a donkey?
Yeah.
I don't
like
want
she tries to
touch
buy
that
a
film.
dress and then the donkey's like, kicking her out or whatever.
I mean, it could be fun, but I would never touch that film. That's
oh,
too
you're right. You're
precious
like
to
that
me.
film is immaculate.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
right,
It's pristine.
I can't
Okay.
remember if I've said this on mic before. I go see that movie. I text Romilly, my sister,
Mhm.
and I'm like, you need to watch this thing stat.
Right. ASAP.
Emergency. Yeah.
Right. And every time she's like, hey, Griffin, what's a movie recommendation? What's a movie recommendation? I go, fucking book the trip.
Yeah.
Book a flight. Go to Paris from, right? And she's, oh, yeah, no, I'll watch it at some point. I'll watch it at some point. And like 2 or 3 months in to me just constantly haggling her about this, she goes like, I'm sick in bed. I feel terrible. What's like a really good, comforting movie to watch when I'm sick? And I was like, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And she was like, is that a good sick day movie? And I was like, Romilly,
It's the
it's
sick
the
day
reason sickness was invented.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's fucking matzo ball soup.
Yeah.
It's in the way that like Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris was created, and so the universe had to create an equal and opposite phenomenon to it, and
Yeah.
that was called illness.
Yep.
It's called
And
COVID-19.
so then,
Yeah.
then they both could exist in balance.
Yeah,
with
and
one
make
another.
the fucking sequels, please.
Yeah.
Ben, sorry for interrupting.
No, that's quite all right.
But perfect movie, don't change anything.
Okay. We have now Top Gun Maverick. I propose it be done with fruits.
Wow. Here's where the fruit.
Top Gun
Point of
fruit.
clarification:
I'm sorry. What?
The-
Top Gun fruit?
the food stuff fruit,
Maverick.
correct? Because
Well, hey, Joe.
listen,
Hey,
I can
you
make
know.
these jokes. No, okay. Yes, the food stuff fruit would be great.
Any particular fruits?
I think, you got to match the fruit up with the personality. So for
Yeah.
Tom, an apple. Duh.
Sure.
It's an all-American guy.
All-American
He's
guy.
Friggin' Maverick.
Sure.
I I didn't see it, so I guess you guys could. Yeah, I missed out. Okay.
John
missed out
Hamm,
on
a pineapple.
hit movie of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah, I did.
$1.5 billion, and none of
No.
them came from Ben Hosmer.
No,
Not-
wow.
Yeah, not a one.
Not a one.
Yeah.
But yeah, at home you can play along
Sure.
if you want to fill in the blanks as far as who's a banana, who's a grape,
Sure.
who's a kiwi.
Yeah.
I don't
there
know,
any
I guess John
kiwis?
Hamm's in it. He could
Yeah.
be.
I said he's a pineapple. He's spiky in that movie.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. All right.
Miles Teller's a banana. Absolutely.
Now, those are the 3 original things.
Okay.
Now, I kept tacking on stuff,
Mm,
right? Just really building this out.
Yeah.
sure.
So
right,
I added.
right. Originally, it was babies, fruit, and animals were the only 3 things you could remake films with.
Right. But clowns now, too.
Well, yeah.
Clowns now, too.
Glass Onions full of clowns.
Well, these jokers in this film.
They're such jokers.
Bunch of VC clowns. in that
honk
movie.
honk.
Yeah.
You know?
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Hong Kong.
Well, and they all emerge from the same very small glass onion that they, you can fit a dozen of them in or whatever.
The only thing they're disrupting is the supply chain of seltzer. Spraying in each other's faces.
I gotta go.
Old school seltzer bottles.
Glass pie. It's like shaped like a pie.
Wow,
Looking
but
at
that could do some
categories.
damage if you're throwing that in somebody's face, though. The glass pie, maybe not recommended.
That's true. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
more symbolic.
Yeah. It's a metaphor.
So then, of course, I also then added robots.
Of course.
So this is an easy one. It's after Yang.
Well, that movie's just about robots.
It's not clear to me.
So you think a beep boop? Oh, you need a beep booper.
big time.
You need like what's the Jetsons maid called?
Rosie.
You need a Rosie.
Yeah.
Big-
Where they're
Oh,
like,
hasn't
"Ah,
worked
shit,
in a while."
Yeah.
ah, shit, the robot's broken, and she's just
Yeah.
like ding ding,
Well,
like
she's
on her
good.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a robot with like an antenna, like something. Yeah, you need an antenna,
But an
on the top.
attitude.
Yeah, with an attitude.
You want knobs and dials on the chest.
Sure,
Right.
Yeah.
Flashing
Yeah.
lights.
Yes.
you know,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
You're gonna be a robot. Tell me you're a robot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe when they cry, like some oil comes out
Oh,
of their head.
absolutely.
That's
Yes.
always fun.
Yeah.
When they get a little,
Yeah.
squeeze it in,
Yeah.
grease them up,
Tell me, master, what is love?
and you're like, you wouldn't get it. All
Go
right.
on.
So I added some other ones that are cuckoo.
Mhm.
So I'm just gonna kind of
Just hit him. Just
Yeah.
no,
Throw 'em out,
no
throw 'em out,
response.
throw 'em
Yeah,
out.
Just throw him out.
all right. But this year we're actually going to be removing things, which was last year. I say let's take out worry, and then it's just don't, darling, and then it never gets made.
Okay.
Brutal.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
Nailed
took
it.
you down.
Nailed it.
Forgot
Brutal.
about that movie.
And then I think I like when there's accents. It's always fun. More
Yes.
accents. Okay. I
All
want to
right.
see more accents. Replace a movie with more accents.
Mhm.
Elvis. I didn't think there was enough.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean
Right,
like
right, right.
I was thinking like accent marks, like the tar.
Elvis.
That too.
Over the E in Elvis.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's actually
Elvis.
Let's put
Elvis. Elvis.
accent il goo over
Yeah.
every letter in Elvis.
But it
No,
would
I
be
agree.
funny if like one of Elvis's friends is like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm German.
Right.
Yes.
Not gonna explain it.
I agree with Ben. I did watch Elvis and go like, what is this mumblecore bullshit?
Elvis was probably just on the cusp of making like several nominations for me. Like
Same.
Elvis was just outside
A
of my
movie
top
I
10.
enjoy tremendously.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Elvis. Yeah, good movie.
okay. So now we have our next category.
Okay.
I've done something different this year.
Okay.
Normally it's the no thank you.
Sure.
Oh, well, which I do
Classic.
love.
Those are fun.
But they
right?
retired?
But,
Soft
but
retired?
here's the thing. It's like I don't want to like take down
Of course.
cinema.
You
right
want
now,
to be in
Yeah.
a positive
especially-
space.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
You want to
yeah.
be the Tom Cruise.
This year it's yum, more thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Number 1, Barbarian, because that was a fucking sick movie.
It's a
It was
sure,
funny,
sure.
Yeah.
and it was just a great horror movie. I mean, I definitely don't think I would want seconds of what they have to consume in the movie.
No,
sure.
You know a milk?
No.
Titty juice.
No, thank you.
That's what you call it.
Okay. Next up, Nope. More like Yup.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'll take all that you got.
Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Take your shoes off and stay a while. Let's hang out.
Wow.
'Cause you're a good
Hospitable.
guy. I'm a big fan. All right.
And please tell me you have 20 of these.
I kept it to, the normal
Okay.
sort of category amount. but
Okay.
Are you serious? This rips. Come on. damn, that was a fucking blast.
Yeah.
That movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Like Yosemite Sam famously said, "What in the tar nation? I'll have what Lydia Tarr is having."
Yeah.
I do remember him saying that.
You did say that.
Yeah.
To Lydia Tarr.
Yeah.
But I will pass on the menu, not into the tweezer food, and just when the truth stings so hard.
Oh.
The satire, it's so vicious.
Yes.
Okay. And then, I have my the Wetties, the golden mop.
Yeah.
Yep, of course.
Now
We're wheeling it out.
You've gone through
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
several rotations of being a slick flick guy to becoming a dry dude.
Right.
To
And there
going
was
back.
Bones and all this year, of course.
A little bit like Rylance just demanding to be heard for putters and murmurs. It felt like this was a year that Hollywood dared you to turn your back
It
on
threw you in
liking-
the dunk tank. Let's be honest.
Liking
really
wet
did.
movies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was taunting it.
Yeah.
It just nailed me.
Have
Yeah,
you seen
bullseye.
Marina? I'm assuming you haven't.
No.
It's a movie about a spear fisher, an eel fisher. Like it's half in the water. You would love it. Anyway, carry on.
Well, maybe I should add that. But of course, yes, the Wetties, the golden mops. It's the slickest flicks of the year.
Yes.
The movies that soaked through. What splish, what splashed.
Get your
Number
paper towels.
one, Triangle of Sadness.
Yeah.
It takes place on a yacht, completely slicked in vomit and
Yeah.
piss and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then later it takes place on an island.
Sure.
Surrounded by water.
Surrounded by water.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, I
Um,
swear to God.
Oh my god.
It stuck out to me as far as what was moist.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And pushing boundaries in terms of different types of liquids.
Yeah.
A lot of these other
Yeah.
films might be water exclusive.
Right, but there
Some-
were a lot of liquids. You're right. A lot
Yeah.
of substances.
Yeah.
Well, is fusion too,
Yes,
right? If you think
yes.
about it, them mixed together.
Champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So coming in from the trenches, all quiet on the Western Front, the
Ugh.
greatest damp there ever was.
David's angry about it even getting a wedding.
I'm
love
going to
it.
get mad about it. And you know what? I didn't even hate the movie, although I did not like it that much.
Sure.
I sort of get why I sort of walked into 10 Oscar nominations or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm
but,
sort of in the same place with that movie.
I mean, it's wet. I mean, look, No Man's Land had a lot of puddles.
Wet.
yeah.
Very wet.
I can't deny it.
Yeah. Didn't seem pleasant to make.
Sure didn't.
No.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No.
No. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Weird. I can't read my next selection. It
It's
keeps
too wet.
disappearing right before my eyes, almost like it never existed. Wait. 13 Lives.
Interesting.
There's a lot of aquatic daring do.
Sure.
In that,
They're swimming in that
movie.
movie.
They are.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't
lot-
see it either.
okay.
I just know it takes place in a fucking
He just had to
cave.
show some
Sure
respect.
does. A lot of diving.
Well,
Yeah.
no one mentioned it. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
And
We
what
got to
ab-
bring it up.
Yeah.
Somebody
no,
does.
Naturally, yes.
I got another slick flick for you, but no, carry on. What else you got?
Okay. Northman.
Mm.
It just works on so many different levels, right down to it just making me horny.
Sure.
Okay.
Skarsgård, baby.
Yeah, it's true.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
He's fucking jacked.
He's
He is. He's a
super
big boy.
jacked.
That is such a metal movie. Like
Oh.
for someone who
Oh,
grew up
yeah.
smoking pot and listening to fucking black metal
Yeah.
albums and shit,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, they
They were talking about
That
this.
movie
They-
needs to be projected onto the side of a van. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
oh fuck yes.
Yeah.
Or Jagged Rock.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Or Jagged Rock. Yeah.
Dude. But yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm leaving something out.
What is it?
Hmm.
What-
You're talking a movie with
What's sloshing
You
around?
lot
were
of
gonna
water.
suggest something.
I was.
A
But
movie
I was
with,
gonna suggest something I think you
water in
forgot.
it? Though? Like,
Yeah.
Or never saw.
What was I feel like there's something
There's some movie about the
Hold
way.
on, let me
of
just
it.
turn around and
Yeah,
look
let me look-
behind me at the
What?
shelf
Let's
of
see
oh right, there's all these Navi.
an increasing collection of
Of
Avatar
blue
paraphernalia.
figures.
Okay. Was it Avatar Way of Water?
The Way
Yes.
of Water.
The Way of Water.
Yeah.
Ben, I assume you did not see Wakanda Forever.
I did not.
I
a
will
lot
say
of
this.
water in that. Yeah.
It is. I truly think it is worth watching on that level. It
Honestly,
does
that's
some
maybe the
things with
best
water.
context to view that movie in.
That,
is like,
that is the most successful
Yeah.
element of the film.
Got good water.
It's the best.
Because
Like
it's got the Atlanteans in it. Is that what it
they
is?
use water as a weapon in a way that I
Yeah.
think is pretty ingenious.
You know what else they do sometimes? They blow on like a big conch and then
Yeah.
like a whale will show up. I
Yeah.
love it when they do that.
Yeah.
There's also the thing in the movie where sometimes people are like, "It's quiet. too quiet, and they look down and like a little puddle is forming near their feet.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they use
Fuck.
water to like build tension like that,
Good.
where
Yeah.
they're like, oh fuck, the water people are coming.
Yeah.
But look,
It's got some great water work.
there's another water movie you're not talking about. Everyone forgot about it. Deep Water. They got deep in that one.
They
Well,
did get deep in that water.
Affleck and De Armas.
The waters of sexual tension.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I actually truly have never heard of this.
Yeah.
Well,
I went
Affleck
to
and Hulu.
Affleck and Ana de Armas,
Yeah.
the last document of their time together.
Yeah.
they
I thought you were going to say
Oh,
the
they
last
should've-
movie star.
Yeah, the last movie star.
No, maybe they are.
Arguably.
That's going to be next year's version of the last movie stars. Is going to be
Yeah.
about Affleck and de Armas.
I gotta say, like, fucking Dharma's getting the blonde nomination is a real flex of like, I guess she is
She's sticking around.
The
legitimately
rallying,
that level of movie.
the
star.
rallying that has gone on around her, with like every single award show has somebody, including Ariana DeBose and her much maligned thing, being like, Ana de Armas, you were really, really good in that movie, and like really trying to convince, like,
because when you watch that movie, you feel bad for her.
you do.
Yeah.
This is why she got the
You
nomination.
feel bad for her.
You feel bad
You
for
don't
her,
feel
the
as
actress.
bad for Marilyn
No.
Monroe as you do for poor Ana de Armas.
Exactly. That's
Man, if I had
exactly
had the
it.
foresight to do a fucking Ariana DeBose
Yeah, she
parody
really
for
kind
the
of.
opening of this
yeah.
episode,
You
that's
might
what
have
everyone was
gotten-
probably expecting.
The show might
was
have
still
gotten
time.
canceled
Show
before
might
the
have gotten
banging.
canceled.
Yeah,
It's
you can
not
still just
happening.
like
It's not
freestyle.
happening.
We'll wait
It's
till
not
the
happening.
banging starts again, and
Yeah.
then we'll have you do it.
Yes.
Benjamin Hosley did the thing.
Right, you should just do it at the construction site, and then
Yeah.
they'll pack up.
Fuck
You're like, fuck,
you.
skyscraper canceled.
A giant drill, you are all of us.
Any dry films this year? What's the driest movie of the year?
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
didn't come up with any dries.
Well, RRR is like fire and water. They
Yeah.
do that's the
Yeah.
sort
It's
of
got it all.
the handshake.
Sure.
Steam kind of.
Yeah.
So it's a
Um,
gas sort of more away.
But the Steamies, of course, is Bill Oakley's award.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, I'll say my honorable mentions. The I'm sorry's gonna go to the
Oh, please.
Bros.
Yes, of course.
My bad. I didn't go to see it. I feel like I part of the problem.
You let everyone
Yeah.
down.
I
Look,
really did.
It is an incredibly funny movie.
It is a very funny movie. I liked Bros a lot.
Yeah.
And then-
Here's my complaint about Bros.
What?
Yeah.
There is at the 90-minute mark a
Yeah.
point where I thought that movie was wrapping up.
Oh yeah.
Where I was like,
Yeah.
is this an A comedy?
Right.
Is
like,
this thing like almost perfect? And then it has that extra Apatow
30
act
more
that
minutes.
really is. I think.
Yeah.
This movie suffers from that
It's
more
Michelle
than
Williams'
most.
hat on a hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It almost needs to end in Provincetown, even though like thematically I get why
Kind of
like
agree.
you got to go back to like his job and whatever. But like
Kind of agree.
that's when that's
There's a 90-minute banger in
yes.
there.
oh
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I also just want
But
to.
Ben, we all agree you are part of the problem.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Black Adam.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't believe that he could.
There's one
disrupt.
person you need
The
to
balance
apologize
power.
to specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Involved
Yeah,
with
I
Black Adam. You gotta give Dwayne his
The degree to which that movie changed the hierarchy of power in the DC universe irrevocably,
It kind of did.
undeniably.
Yeah, they were like, God, clear the decks.
And that's why I'm saying sorry.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was right.
He was right.
Yeah. Because he
you
made his
seen
movie and then went, do not go in there.
Yeah, really. Have you seen it? I forget.
I watched the last 15 minutes of it on David Ehrlich's couch.
That's not going to do it for me. I
Yeah.
think I need you to give it the whole 110.
Do you know what I thought it looked like?
What?
Bowl full of diarrhea
Yeah.
swishing around.
I remember I
Triangle
just
of
whatever
Sadness.
episode you said that on, I just listened to it
Yeah.
because yes. Not a good movie. I almost need you to see the whole thing though, because Pierce Brosnan,
Yeah.
the absolute low energy that he is delivering in this movie, the
Yeah.
like bare minimum of a shit I'm gonna give about this movie, and yet still is the most compelling
He's
thing in
easily the
movie.
most compelling thing in it.
Yeah.
100%.
But it is so funny when he's like, Hawkman, you and I have been fighting battles forever. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? You guys
You
met 8
haven't.
minutes ago.
You fucking liar.
You are a liar. The things we've seen, Hawkman. Fuck off. Stupid ass movie. All right, what else?
Well, I mean, that's really. I just want to shout out to Ada. You're just like a really gentle soul, and
Ada?
you shine so bright.
Who's that?
Ada Harris.
Oh,
Mrs. Harris.
Mrs. Harris.
I-
or something.
Oh, she went to Paris.
I'm, pretty close.
I
with her.
truly-
Yeah, I get it.
If you gave me 1,000 years,
No, yeah, I
would
wouldn't have
never
got
be
that.
able to summon her
Correct.
first name.
I wouldn't have gotten
Her
that.
first name is Mrs.
Yeah, correct.
I have it on a needlepoint hanging in the office.
No,
I feel
sure,
like you
right.
should be able to remember.
She's my best friend.
She gave me the present,
Yeah.
of course.
And
that's
of
really
course, she will be
appreciated.
just joining the DC universe.
Yeah.
James Gunn has announced in 2026
Yeah.
with Mrs. Harris goes to Gotham.
Right.
I don't know.
That was the happiest surprise of Oscar morning, nomination morning for me. Was that getting the costume
Costume
nomination?
nod.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Very
Maybe
much
it'll win.
I would love to see it.
Maybe
win.
Mrs. Harris will present an award.
Oh,
Oh shit!
Oh
this
my
is the Oscars, is
God.
it?
yeah.
Yeah, she should be invited.
Wait,
Yeah.
she should host the Blankies next year.
Oh, fuck.
All right, how
Mrs.
much do you think
Harris.
Leslie
Yeah,
Manville
how much? Yeah.
would charge?
Well, no, that's a different question. How much would Mrs. Harris?
Mrs. Harris.
No, Leslie Manville is like, my rate is $80,000. Mrs. Harris's rate is 20 shillings and sixpence. All right, we can negotiate with that.
Pretty dress, and I will.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
Thank you, Benjamin.
yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
You
That was
stopped the
fantastic.
noises.
Yeah.
The lamb stopped screaming.
That's
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that I was shouting so loud inside while it was happening.
right.
You mean like you were like psychically radiating, like stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like radio waves. I don't know, but yeah. Can't believe that it's the 8th year of this.
I know.
I know. Cancel us.
It's the best
Don't cancel
tradition
us. I
that's
love
going on in my life right now. This is
Aw.
very fun. This is good.
Well.
This has been the Blankies.
Joe, thank you for being here.
Guys,
Thanks, Joe.
You know I love it. You know I
We
I
love
look
to
forward
have
to
you.
this
We
every
really are
year.
here for it. Yeah.
It's a good. I come here for for laughs and
We
for
come to this
inspiration.
place
Yeah,
for-
yeah. We come to this place.
For
Yeah.
foundation tremors.
My
Let me
God.
get clear to the listener. It is construction that is affecting the ground upon which
Yeah,
our
it's
building
not in the
sits.
building.
It's not in the building.
It's not in the building, and
It
this
is
is a big building.
on the block.
This isn't some creaky old townhouse. This is a
Yes.
giant fucking building.
Right. There's essentially manufactured earthquakes happening
Yeah.
every day from 9 to
Picture a
5.
jackhammer you would see a man like just holding onto, one
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
And instead, times that by 10 and it's attached to a giant construction like vehicle.
It is an
Yeah.
empty lot that they're putting pylons into, and we like look at it every day and go like, are they almost done?
How many more pylons do you need?
Right. Is this 10 out of 15 or 10 out of 100 pylons? Anyway, no thank you to this construction project, but thank you very much to all of you for listening, especially to our Blankies for putting together the audience awards every year. That's such a
Yeah.
cool thing that happens.
It is. We love to see it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the films of 2023. As usual, I'm happy
I
to bid
already have
farewell
a
to
couple
Oh, yeah.
like
2022.
early contenders. There are like 3 or 4 things I've seen this year where I'm like, that could already make it to next year's ballot.
That's always an exciting feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you to Mary Barty for our social media and helping
Marie.
to produce the show. Thank you to Leigh Montgomery and the Great American Novel for our theme song, AJ McKeon and Alex Barron for our editing, JJ Birch for taking it sleazy this week. Thank you to Joe Bowen and Pat Reynolds for our artwork. You can go to blankcheckpod.com for some links to some real nerdy shit, including Blank Check special features on Patreon where we do franchise commentaries, and we're hanging out with the Men in Black.
Yeah.
Right now. That's what we're doing.
The Galaxy Defenders?
The Galaxy Defenders.
Get out of here.
Tune in next week for Danny
Next
Boyle
week
again.
is Millions.
Millions. Millions with Adam Kempenar of the Film Spotting Podcast.
That's
returning to
right.
the show. Tune in for that. And as always, we have a contribution this year from the record holder, and I think it's unlikely to be beaten anytime soon. The youngest ever blank check guest, who has not appeared on mic in several years now.
Oh, get out of here.
When Avatar: The Way of Water was coming out, we asked Charlie, son of Katie Rich,
Yeah.
if he had any opinions he wanted to share on the movie, because we heard he was a big Avatar fan,
Yeah.
and he was feeling kind of shy, and we respected that.
Sure.
But we about a month later, we were told that Charlie was willing to submit his top 10 films of the year.
Momentous. I
So for
love
the
it.
first time ever, here are the Charlies.
Hello, Blank Check and the Blankies. This is Katie Rich here, and I'm sitting here with past and future guest Charlie, who has authorized me to read his top 10 movies of 2022. Charlie, you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, at number 10, we have Lightyear, which we went and saw in the theaters at the Alamo Draft House, had a great time, had some snacks. It's a pretty fun movie. At number 9, we have Strange World. Underrated, underseen, I think. A perfectly good family adventure movie. Kind of like Lightyear in some ways, I would say, Charlie. Do you think? At number 8, we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, not to be confused with the Zemeckis Pinocchio. Really beautiful, pretty sad, kind of scary sometimes.
Yeah.
But a good kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 7, we have Lyle, Crocodile, which I think Charlie liked a little bit less than his brother, who has memorized all the songs, but has really good songs in it. Really good Javier Bardem performance. Anything I missed about it, Charlie?
I like how how fun, how you get sucked into it and you never want to come out.
Yep, I think that's a good way to put it. And number 6, we have Puss in Boots: The Last Witch, which I have seen less of than Charlie has, but it's really beautifully animated and a really good time. Yeah. Number 5, Matilda the Musical. So good. Such good songs. We've been reading Roald Dahl, and now we're going to read Matilda. And then got kind of emotional at the end, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, hang on, I need the list. Number 4 is Goodnight Oppie. Such a good documentary. So exciting. It's like all the best scenes of Apollo 13 where they get to celebrate in the control room. We read the screenplay together. That was really cool. What else do we like about Goodnight Oppie?
I like how you see all the Mars stuff and all the discoveries.
Yeah, those are some really good rovers. Number 3 is The Bad Guys, another movie that we went and saw in the theaters. Also really good animation, some like fun twists in there, some really good voice performances. Also a pretty good song, but not as good as Lyle. Number 2 is Avatar: The Way of Water. Of course, we saw it in the theater. We saw it in 3D. We've been flying our banshees around in our yard. Thank you, Griffin. We've been talking about how we would like to have a tulkun for ourselves. Anything you want to say about Avatar: The Way of Water?
I like all of the new animals because you kind of get bored of the same characters and they always put new things in it.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, we talked about how you would give all the money you have to be able to swim with the tulkun, right? Yeah. Okay, and then at number 1, do you want to say it yourself out, Charlie? Okay, so I'm going to say for Charlie, Avatar, the original Avatar, which we did see in the theater in 2022. So we think that it should count. I think that Avatar: The Way of Water is better than Avatar, but Charlie chose Avatar at number 1. Do you want to say anything about why it's better?
I like how dramatic it is.
Okay. I think that's a pretty good answer. It's on Disney Plus. You can watch it again for yourselves. So that's Charlie's top 10 of 2022. Thanks for sharing it with me, Charlie. Anything you want to add before we go?
No, I think we should stop.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
We have... Who is this? Who is this supposed to be? A girl in a blue dress with a bow in her hair?
It's the robot girl from Tomorrowland.
The robot girl from Tomorrowland. Wow. Merchandise spotlight.